The November 13, 2025 meeting of the San Diego Community College District Board of Trustees is hereby called to order. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Very nice. You're awake. This meeting is being conducted in a hybrid format with board members and most meeting presenters participating in person. Others are participating remotely via Zoom. We also welcome any members of our district community and the members of the public who are either with us in person or viewing the meeting live via YouTube. To address the board, please fill out a comment card available on the side of the room or from the board recording secretary. If anyone participating remotely would like to make public comment, please email boardoffice@sdccd.edu for further direction. Before we move to the announcement of and public comment in closed session, oh, this is the wrong. It's okay. Okay, we're gonna start with our land acknowledgement. At the December 14 board meeting, our board adopted a district-wide land acknowledgement to publicly recognize that the land we occupy is the unceded territory and ancestral homeland of the Kumeyaay people. Mesa College student trustee Jeremiah Palomino will now read the district's land acknowledgement. Trustee Palomino?
The San Diego Community College District and its 4 colleges acknowledge the land we occupy is the unceded territory and ancestral homeland of the Kumeyaay people, where they have lived for over 10,000 years. We honor and value the stewardship, knowledge, and cultural worldview of the Kumeyaay people and their commitment to the protection and preservation of the land and their culture. As institutions of higher education, we are responsible for providing our Indigenous community members with access, belonging, and success in their educational pursuits with an environment which celebrates their culture. We are responsible for educating all our community members about Indigenous histories and culture. We are responsible for examining and taking action to address the injustices of colonization and occupation which have perpetuated harm against Indigenous, Black, Brown, and other communities. Through this acknowledgement, we honor the Kumeyaay people and express our commitment to truth and respect as the foundation of our relationship.
Thank you. And now could you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Thank you, Board President. Please stand.
There's no flag.
Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
That's fast. All righty. We are all paying a lot of attention tonight. Okay, so I have some readouts from closed session. There are 2 readouts. The board has returned from closed session with the following actions to report. Under item 202 of the closed session agenda, on a motion by trustee Maria Nieto Senior and seconded by trustee Marichu Magaña, the board approved the implementation of termination of the employment of a classified employee at San Diego Community College District Office as required under section 88013B of the California Education Code, and the vote was unanimous. The second readout is as follows. The board has returned from closed session with the following actions to report. Under item 203 of the closed session agenda, on a motion by trustee Maria Nieto Senior and seconded by trustee Craig Milgram, the board approved the disciplinary action of expelling a San Diego City College student number 103012 599563025 from all colleges, campuses, programs, sites, and activities of the San Diego Community College District pursuant to California Education Code Section 72122 and 20 USC Section 1232G. The vote was also unanimous. Thank you. And with that, I refer this to the Chancellor for Mesa College Campus meeting.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much to President Hands and the entire team for hosting the Board of Trustees for these meetings. A ton of work goes into this. We appreciate that. But it's important that each year we get out and get to see firsthand and hear from the people doing the great work to serve our students here at Mesa College, spotlight those programs, and give the college community an opportunity to participate in the board's governance and business meeting, which often people can't get to the district office to do. So without further ado, we'll turn it over to President Hands for our campus presentation.
So much. Our time is 4:15. So that we can make sure we get this full hour in.
I have 4:10. So
Oh, I'm
don't
sorry.
deprive
I'm
yourself
sorry.
of 5
4:10,
minutes.
4:10. All right. So I too would like to say good afternoon, good evening, and to welcome you, our board and our chancellor to San Diego Mesa College. And thank you for creating this space for us to be able to tell our stories. I want to begin by acknowledging our teams before we jump in, because they may not get a chance to be recognized formally. So I want to recognize the people who are strengthened by leaders, thinkers, doers, people who breathe life into our vision of being the leading college of equity and excellence. And so if I call your group and you're Mesa College, I would ask that you stand. Our vice presidents, if you could please stand and be acknowledged. We thank them for the incredible work that they do. And you all can remain standing. We would also like any administrators who are here to stand, our supervisors and managers, administrators. Thank you. We would also like, keep standing. We would also like our Mesa faculty to please stand that are here with us. I'd like to ask our Mesa classified professionals that are here with us to please stand. And then Mesa College students that are here with us, if you could please stand. Thank you all for the work that you do and the heart that you bring to this college and our work. We are also joined by our Senate leadership. And so we have created space for each of those groups to be able to come up and to provide you with words of welcome. You will hear from Jeremiah Palomino, our Associated Student President, who is on the dais with us today, Ayanna Woods, President of our Classified Senate, and Mary Gwynn, President of our Academic Senate. And again, these individuals step up daily to make sure that shared and participatory governance is how it is that we do the work of our college. So I would like to turn it over to Jeremy from Associated Students. Jeremiah.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I think, right? It's afternoon. So good afternoon, guys. Jeremiah here. Good afternoon to Board President, Chancellor Smith, Board of Trustees, our distinguished guests, faculty, classified professionals, and fellow students. I guess a little reintroduction, maybe for those who may not know me. I wasn't there at convocation, but I do come to the PCAP meeting. So if you do see me there, I do go there. But yeah, Jeremiah Palomino. And I have the honor of serving as the Associated Students President here at Mesa. It truly means a lot to welcome you all here. This is such a big meeting, especially because we're here on our campus today. And I'm so glad that we're all here together. Having you in our community today makes this moment just really special, I think, just because we only show up this is once a year that we only do this. So this is really special. So just thank you for being here. Mesa is more than a place to study. And for many of us, it's where we rebuild our confidence, where we find belonging, and where we start to believe in our own purpose. I've personally felt that. I came here not fully knowing what I would do, where my path would be led to. But as I've been here for a while, this is my 3rd year. Hopefully God willing, I can transfer this coming fall. But along the way, I've found mentors and I found friends. I'm a student myself, so I always seek to be as humble as I can and just try and be just like the person who's right next to me. I'm someone that can relate to everyone. I'm someone that tries to relate to everyone. I don't have a title. I'm just a student, just like anybody here. And that's all thanks to the people who support me, who guide me, my parents, Always try to be the best son that I can be, the best brother I can be. And I think just having that as my foundation has been the best gift that I've been given as a son, and I've been given as a human being. Because if I can't serve the people that are in my home, how can I serve the people that are here? So I'm really thankful for my parents, thankful for my culture, thankful for my family, my community. Thankful for Victoria Miller, Vicky. You know, she's been a really great advisor, mentor, friend. Yeah, I'm just thankful for the opportunities that Mesa has provided to me, and that's provided to many of the students that get to be a part of shared governance here at Mesa, and just take classes and make these connections with one another, these human connections that you can't really get anywhere else, and we have that here at Mesa. So many students, not just me, have had their lives changed here, and I know that Mesa will continue to do that. So I know I'm trying to make this as short as possible, because I know we only have 2 minutes, but I could go minutes and minutes just talking about how much this campus means to me, how much this community means to me. And I hope that you guys can see that. Mesa is rooted in purpose, grounded in equity, and I hope that we continue to grow together. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are we doing? Are you having a great day? I hope so. Okay, my name is Ayana Woods. I am the Classified Senate President here at Mesa College. And on behalf of the classified professionals at Mesa College, I want to say welcome. We're so glad that you came to our lovely campus to have an amazing board meeting. This year's theme, Rooted in Purpose, Grounded in Equity, and Growing Together, really speaks to the heart of who we are at Mesa. Every day, our classified professionals show up with purpose, serving our students, supporting one another, and keeping our campus running with care and dedication. We stay grounded in equity, making sure that in everything we do, people feel seen, heard, and valued. We're growing together, learning from one another, celebrating one another, and continuing to build a community filled with kindness, respect, and joy. We also want to take a moment to thank you, our Board of Trustees. Your leadership and guidance truly help us thrive. You help create the conditions for us to grow in purpose and to serve our district with pride. So from all of us at Mesa, thank you for the work you do and the support you give, and for helping this community be strong, rooted, and grow together.
Buenas tardes. I'm taking Spanish, and I'm very happy to be taking that class. Anyway, I'm Mary Gwynn. I'm the Academic Senate President. On behalf of the San Diego Mesa College Academic Senate, we want to welcome the Chancellor and the Board of Trustees to Mesa. Today is a celebration for us. And as part of the overall picture of the wonderful things Mesa has to offer, I'm going to talk later about our success with our outcomes journey. And after that, you'll hear a brief report from the Academic Senates. We have a lot on the agenda today, so I won't take up a lot of time, but since I am a philosopher, I want to welcome you with a little philosophy lesson. So today, you're going to hear a lot about our excellence at Mesa. We have some truly remarkable faculty, staff, students, and administrators who all work toward what I believe is a common good, making the world a better place through education. Now, the ancient Greek word for excellence is arete, and arete is translated in modern texts as virtue or excellence. So in other words, a virtue, the ancient Greeks thought that a virtue is just an excellence. You could be morally excellent, intellectually excellent, etc. Anyway, the Greeks, they thought that virtue, you were virtuous to the extent that you fulfill whatever your purpose is, or a thing is virtuous to the extent that it fulfills whatever its purpose is. And there's a lot of debate about whether or not people or things really have intrinsic natures or purposes. And that's another philosophy lesson for another day. But the first line in our mission statement says, San Diego Mesa College is a comprehensive community college committed to access, success, and equity. And I think this encapsulates our purpose as a college. So I think today you really are going to see our virtues or our excellences in fulfilling that purpose on display. Thanks.
We have excellent leadership, and thank you all for leading and again, breathing life into our mission, vision, and values with such great care and purpose. So thank you. I would like to lead this next portion of our program. And I told them, make sure you're talking to the board. And then I'm like, and then, so I'm going to help model the way. So I want to start off with the way that I often do, which is a South African greeting called Sawubona. And that word literally translates to mean we see you, right? And it's more than just a sight, like physically seeing you. It means that we see your humanity, your dignity, your worth. And we say that you have value and you are worthy here. And what you are going to see today really is the spirit of Sawubona at Mesa. Our ability to see our students, to truly see them, meet them where they are, to honor and bear witness to their greatness, who they were born to become, and to create the conditions that matter while they are here. And so again, this greeting reflects how we strive to move at Mesa, with presence, with respect, with intentional commitment to seeing the fullness of our students and one another. Today's program is designed to show how our theme, which you have heard, is rooted in purpose, grounded in equity, and growing together, is lived across the campus. And we thought of ways that we could tell stories that you may not have heard to date. So you're going to hear how we continue to strengthen our accreditation work and reinforce a culture of continued improvement. How we took something that seemed like lemons, bitter lemons, and turned it into the sweetest of lemonade through our intentional work and effort as a campus, in particular with our instruction and our faculty. You'll see how we are expanding opportunities for adult learners by creating meaningful hands-on experiences through our Mesa Impact and other areas, and deepening global and cultural engagement through study abroad, our world art collections. You'll also see how belonging remains a core thread that connects and elevates all of our work. So each presentation offers a glimpse into the shared effort and shared heart that defines Mesa, a community that leads with purpose, that centers equity and grows together in service of our students. So thank you so much for being here, and I will turn it over to our first group of presenters.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hai, and it's a pleasure to be here to present to the board, to the district friend, and to Mesa community. So I'm proud to be Dean of Institutional Effectiveness at Mesa, and together with me today is Lisa Rabinovich, Faculty Outcome Coordinator, and also Mary Quinn, our Academic Senate President. So today we're going to share with you a little bit about our ACCJC journey, our accreditation journey, the most recent one, and how we move from compliance to continuous improvement and on the way to excellence. With that being said, Lisa.
Thank you. So our story began with our 300-page self-evaluation report, which took us a year and a half to complete. And this was a chance for us to reflect, to celebrate our wins. And at the same time, we also noticed some areas for improvement, especially around outcomes assessment. Then in June 2024, the ACCJC Commission letter was issued where they stated the 2 requirements that we have to meet within an 18-month timeframe. To be honest, there was some panic, but there was also a desire for more clarity and intentionality how to move forward. The letter from ACCJC enabled us to refocus our effort, align our systems with a sense of purpose. These are their 2 requirements. The first one had to do with our learning outcomes not matching what was in the official course outline of record. And the second one was that they wanted to see that we systematically and regularly use the data that we collect from outcomes to improve our programs and courses. Sounds pretty simple, but across all of our courses, we have about 3,000 outcomes and hundreds of faculty teaching these courses. So we needed structure, clarity, and it required a massive collective effort. We first wanted to figure out, thank you. We first wanted to determine how did we get to where we are. So we formed a summer work group where we invited participants from across different spaces on campus. And from our research, we identified 4 main barriers: knowing the why, not knowing the why, not knowing the how and what, limited resources, structure system, and culture gaps. And so this gave us some insight to rebuild from this scattered, demonstration that you see behind you to something cohesive in order for us to meet the requirements.
Gonna make a quick announcement. There's some some chairs available in the front for those of you in the back, if you wanna come over. Thank you.
So what you just see in actually the result of the summer work group, which is the first bullet over here. And what happened is that within 2 weeks of receiving the letter from ACCJC, the summer work group met to do a root cause analysis, not on who did what wrong, but it's more about what is happening in our system. And at the same time, exec team also met to really come up with the overall plan, communication plan, and the most important artifact for the summer is the establishment of the ACCJC subcommittee, where we bring in academic senate president, chair of chair, department outcome coordinator, faculty outcome coordinator, dean, VP, president, all together to guide Mesa collective response. We also learn from CD and Miramar to learn about the practice and processes. Now, then come a realization that we don't need just a plan. We need a framework to make sure there's clarity and coherence in what we are doing. And may I introduce with you this framework. So from a organizational effectiveness, it's actually very straightforward. Every system is perfectly designed to get the result it gets. So if you want to change the result, work harder is not enough. You have to change the system. And this is where the PSA framework came in. P stands for people. We need to bring in the relevant people. In this case, people who are closest to the teaching and learning and outcome process. System, clarify structure and process of the current result and of the ideal standard that you would like to get. And finally, accountability is more like clarity. Who needs to do what, by when, and with what support. So all of these together allow us to move forward with clarity and to make sure that we achieve the more ideal status. So I'm going to give an example of how that PSA framework came into action by take a look at this action plan right here. So in this action plan, we have call to action. That is not optional. We have progress update about where we are. We clarify who needs to do what. We have flexibility about the plan, and we have a clear action and timeline with 1, 2, 3, 4 steps right there. This artifact is created by the ACCJC subcommittee in connection with the Committee on Outcome Assessment. It was sent by the President's office, and it was reinforced throughout our governance process. So it's truly a whole collective work. By the way, we also have a version of this, but for manager and supervisor. So once again, the idea of accountability with support, accountability with the people, not to the people. And we have a couple more artifacts to show you.
The syllabus checklist. So this was a big effort on the part of the Academic Affairs Committee, and they did a lot of work on this. They standardized what belongs in every syllabus and they looked at things that were aligned with district policy, AFT, accreditation, state law, et cetera, et cetera. This thing is, we needed it for a long time. It ensures consistency in every section, every semester, and it gives us compliance and clarity. Next slide, please. Okay. And then our learning outcomes verification process. This truly was built collaboratively by deans, council, and faculty. I was in on that too. It clarifies the steps, who verifies the syllabi, how faculty can get support with syllabi, et cetera. And it offers clear timelines each term. So, they're really, again, it's accountability with people, not to people. And then, is this you, Lisa? Okay.
Another artifact we wanted to share is progress updates, which we provided regularly at spaces like Convocation and also across our shared governance committees, President's Cabinet, ACC-JC Subcommittee, our Committee on Outcomes Assessment, and more. And the goal was to be transparent about where we are. We wanted to build trust, be open about our current status and where we want to be, and also, to build accountability through this trust. And it was an opportunity for us to identify areas that needed support. And so by sharing where we are and where we want to be, everybody became part of the solution. And so you can see in 1 year, the progress that was made in our assessment.
All right, it's me again. All right, collective action. Yeah, this really was grounded in systemic equity, not just traditional equity, but systemic equity. Who designs it, decides what goes on the syllabi, leads systems, et cetera. The spaces where all this stuff took place include things like campus-wide events, trainings, updates. Andrew and my predecessor in the Academic Senate did a lot of work with that, and he really should be commended. And then we, were able to identify our institutional tools and processes. So yeah, this was really a systemic equity kind of thing.
All right, so putting everything together. So if you are a fan of logic model, this is it. So I want to highlight on the left side, that is resource or input. So look at that, a lot of groups, a lot of contributor, a lot of notes, a lot of discussion, and one and only Lisa Rabinovich. On the middle, we have a lot of training section, new revised artifact, 2,000 learning outcome benchmark. Look at that, 2,000 learning outcome result. That's a lot of work from our faculty and a lot of people at Mesa. Now, putting all of that together, 744% increase in cross-learning outcome with result within a year. That's remarkable. And for the first time in about a decade, or maybe more than that, we actually met our outcome goal for year 3 for both instruction and student services. So both instruction, not just student services. Oh, thank you. And we also collected evidence for using outcome result for improvement capture in Nuventive and during school meeting. And I would like to close with this slide. In retrospect, our purpose is not just compliance. It's about clarity, it's about learning, it's about student success. We grounded in equity, but not to the traditional student equity. Is we build equity enabling system that's shaped by the people closer to the problem we're trying to address. And finally, we move as one college with shared purpose, collaboration, and evidence-based progress. And that's what makes last year different. And that's the Mesa way. Thank you.
Just really quick, I emailed all of the board members the Zoom link so that they can see it closer on their laptops.
Thank you.
I'm trying to go back. Okay, hopefully that didn't cut into my time. Hi, Tara Hardy Teodoro, Dean of Instruction here at Mesa College. I'm excited to spend the next 8 minutes with you speaking about our current work supporting adult learners, but also the future work that we're going to be diving into.
Mesa
Little preview. So at the national level, our adult learners, so our students who are age 25 or older, are not enrolling at the same rates as they used to. And so this is from our National Student Clearinghouse data that shows at the public 4 and the public 2, over the last 2 years from 2021 to 2023, there is a dip in enrollment for our students who are 25 and older. So with that said, we know how imperative it is to connect with those learners at our campus. Our district office ran similar data, and so this also mirrors a dip in enrollment for our students who are adult learners.
Specific to our campus, our fall 2025 head count, we have 7,109 students who are over the age of 25, and that makes up 34% of our current population. You'll see there the different parts of their identity and responsibilities off breakdown from our students. So we have a lot of current support here and a lot of, I would say, strong roots in supporting our adult learners here on campus. There's a lot of different areas that we can focus in, but we're going to highlight 3 today. Our first one is around work-based learning and our MIP program, Mesa Impactship. Participation in that program for our adult learners is over 50%. In that program are over the age of 25. So we know and have data on how important it's been for completion and to career beyond graduating at Mesa. So we do have a video that you saw a little snippet of to show you and highlight that important work that's happening on campus.
Mesa Impactship program is one of the jewels of our institution.
My name is Natalia Yakovlev. I'm from Ukraine.
My name is Angel Wilson.
My name is Mauricio Cantu, but I go by Mao.
My workforce training is my work at the County of San Diego Ultimate Public Defender's Office.
I am case manager in charity organization.
At the hospital now, we have an excellent clinical instructor.
MIP is an internship program designed to support underserved students in gaining access to workforce training opportunities. We offer students a one-time payment of $1,000. We know that's not everything, but we live in San Diego. It's one of the most expensive cities in the country. The funding is really intended to support students with offsetting or reducing the costs that they've occurred throughout the semester.
This MIP program will help me purchase my textbooks next semester.
It helps with gas, helps with buying suits, helps with keeping my hair cut.
This financial assistance will allow me to have a more stable and secure living situation, enabling me fully to concentrate on my studies and professional development.
Our students are coming from historically underrepresented communities, and by empowering them, giving that opportunity to access to one semester internship will change their entire life and trajectory. And that could change the face of the community. Those are our future doctors, our future scientists, professors, policymakers.
This is entrance in new future, entrance in possibility and opportunity.
If I envision myself to working in this career pathway, that could give me skills to have a work in the future.
So I'm literally I'm doing what an attorney would do. This is so cool.
Ideally, every student who came to Mesa would have that ability to have a paid internship. We could do a little project or we could dream bigger. And really, with that equity and excellence focus, expand this opportunity of a paid internship to every student.
I really value that the district has put a lot of resources and energy around career services. Even the work-based learning summit that occurred 2 weeks ago is in alignment with this work, and especially around adult learners. It's very key to their success. So happy to be here highlighting that work. Along with that, our basic needs area, the strand, Joanna Alleman has been doing a lot of incredible work supporting our adult learners. When we ran the data for this last academic year, 75% of the people who came and visited that center happened to be adult learners. And so in that center, there's a lot of support happening beyond just food pantry. There's mental health, there's the parent cafe, and the professional clothing space. And so in that way, we're well poised to support that part of our adult learners' identity. And then also on our Veteran Success Center, Jordan Agricula is in charge of that area. Beyond certification, the Veteran Success Center is a space where our adult learners can connect and to form community. And that number for our campus is 1,600 students are over the age of 25 seeking support and community in that space. So happy to also highlight them. Beyond our existing supports, we are diving into intentionality behind the recruitment, retention, graduation, and careers of our adult learners. And so what that looks like for us is that we worked with Institutional Effective Partnership Institute and the Partnership Resource Team. We've already gone through one meeting with them on September 19th. We had over 60 folks from our campus connecting and honestly talking about the 5 key sectors that you see listed there. We had members from the district come and help support guide these conversations because we know how crucial they are for us to move forward with a plan. And so we also know that while we're going to build that strategic plan, that work can't just happen without a lot of other things happening at the same time, a lot of things going on. So the time for us is also still now. So we have a lot of current opportunities that we are exploring. Our campus is on year 3 of a California Reconnect partnership. So that specifically supports adult returners. So they make up 6 million students in the state of California who started either at community or at the 4-year and did not finish their educational goals. And so California Reconnect works alongside us, our student services area, and works to see what factors allow them to stop and then what it would take to have them re-engage with their home institution. We have our Mesa Success Coaches program that is about 200 plus students strong, and they are paired with a mentor on campus to help them with a variety of different questions that they may have. And so we're looking at potentially scaling that up and being intentional and having some staff or faculty who have an adult learner specific experience to connect with our adult learners. We're engaging in a collaborative with our CSU partners around credit mobility. Our students, our top majors are for our adult learners currently are around business and psych for transfer to CSU. Our top certificate with this current population is the Cal GETC, a certificate to transfer and meet their GE. So when we think about credit mobility with a strong partner, not the only one, but a stronger partner currently, it's important to see how those units will work between those. And that's this case, same for credit for prior learning. So the more and more we can encourage credit for prior learning, operationalize it. It doesn't just help with, of course, time to degree completion, but it also helps when you're looking to recruit and have honest conversations about coming to a campus to meet their educational goals. And that's this case for any student, but certainly for our adult learners. And let's see here. I had mentioned there's 3 PRT visits. Our second one is going to be December 1st. They've already taken a lot of our feedback and have provided a menu of options for us as we start diving into the strategic plan in the new year. So we're excited to look through that and work again with our campus partners on how to create that plan. And then in the meantime, we're also always looking to align resources. So we've had some good conversations with the chief of strategy at CALE. That's our Council for Adult and Experiential Learning. Along with looking for fiscal resources, we know that there was a call out to support adult learners from the Futures Foundation. So we submitted a letter of intent there. So we're excited to continue to engage in this work from all angles. And then lastly, while we appreciate this space for their partners and colleagues, I was met with a decision when I was coming to this meeting, my first board meeting, whether to take the elevator or to take the stairs up here. So I don't know which one of you may have taken the stairs or the elevator, but I took the stairs and I saw those messages of welcome on the rails. And one of them that stuck out to me was, you are never too old to change your mind or career. You can do it. And so it was just kind of reaffirming that we will be that place to, you know, it's one thing to say that, it's one thing to operationalize it and put things into place so that we can actually make gains for our adult learners in intentional ways. So I thank you. And I think I'm at time. I stayed within the 8 minutes. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and thank you so much for being here today. I'm Leslie Shimazaki, and I'm the Interim Dean for Arts and Languages and International Education. And while so many programs at Mesa reflect the spirit of the theme we're sharing with you tonight, Study Abroad is one that really brings it to life in particularly powerful ways. So I'm going to begin by sharing a few numbers about our programs. Over the past 10 years, Mesa has offered study abroad programs in 8 countries, and with instructional programs in art, drama, biology, fashion, and various world languages. Since 2015, we've served over 350 students in this program, each coming back with a new perspective on the world and how they fit into it. So tonight, we're going to share with you more about how study abroad connects to our theme, and we'll hear from two students who have actually participated in our programs. To share more, I am honored to introduce Dora Schoenbrunn Fernandez, who her name, well known. She's a professor of Spanish and international education coordinator extraordinaire for Mesa College.
Thank you, Leslie, and thank you to the board for taking a few moments to listen to how we are rooted in purpose. As a product of a community college, I know and I believe in the power of education, the mission of the full access and opening the world of opportunities to all of our students. At Mesa, when we talk about rooted in purpose, this applies to our students and the college itself. Our international education programming models excellence and equity with global approach. Study abroad is one of the ways we live out that purpose. It's intentional because we know it changes lives. When students study and live in another country, they develop key skills for success in today's world: adaptability, collaboration, communication, interpersonal skills, resilience, self-awareness, creative problem solving, and cultural awareness. These are the same qualities that prepare them not only for careers, but for leadership, empathy, and engaged citizenship. And as a college, that's our purpose: to prepare students for meaningful lives and responsible participation in our global community. The growth, independence, and confidence they gain studying abroad with them stays much longer than when they return. And that's why Mesa remains so deeply committed to this program. Now we'd like to share with you the voice from one of our students. Claudia Moreno.
Hi, I'm Claudia Moreno. I am originally from San Diego, California, and recently I transferred to UC Berkeley. I'm currently studying comparative literature in both English and Spanish, and this happened because of my early childhood. I was brought up in a bilingual household by two Mexican immigrants. I grew up in a diverse neighborhood where language and culture were surrounding me in more ways than one. And so eventually I decided to study abroad in San Diego Mesa College, where I transferred from. I studied abroad in Kyoto, Japan, where I studied Japanese 201, so the third course in that language. And I was immersed by so many Japanese speakers and so many people invested in Japanese culture. And then my freshman year of community college, I studied abroad in Madrid, Spain, where I studied also a third course, but in Spanish. And I had Professor Dora as my professor, and she was a wonderful guide during all of this, the different various challenges that I came across through transportation, through the new experience that I had abroad, and be my myself. Currently, I am with the aspirations of becoming a writer and a teacher, and hopefully I can return to Mesa and be a professor and be a source of education and a source of guidance.
Thank you. As you can see, the sense of purpose runs deep in our students and Mesa's mission, and we can celebrate that. And we also recognize that not every student sees study abroad as possible for them, and that's why our next focus is equity. Oh, they switched. At Mesa, grounded in equity means more than making our programs available, truly accessible to all of our students, removing barriers, creating collaborations, and strengthening connections across our entire campus. When it comes to study abroad, we know that there are real barriers that can prevent students from even imagining themselves taking a part in studying abroad. The most common obstacles we hear are a lack of awareness about the program and its benefits, financial restraints, and a sense among some students that they simply don't fit the profile for a study abroad participant. Our goal has been to eliminate those barriers one by one. To address awareness, we've launched several intentional outreach and support efforts. In 2021, we began our I Am Study Abroad campaign, which highlighted a diverse group of MESA students and other SCCCD participants who have traveled abroad, students from different majors, backgrounds, and life experiences. Their stories made a powerful point. Study abroad is for everyone. We also use a mix of focused marketing strategies. You can see some of these on the screen now, from in-class presentations, workshops that are presentations in the Pride Center, and intentionally focused campaigns, including our scholarship opportunities that can really make a difference for our students financially to participate in this life-changing opportunity. Mesa College has earned 44 Gilman scholarships. This is a prestigious award for Pell Grant recipients from the United States Department of State and the Department of Education that focuses on offering the financial support for underrepresented populations and study abroad. We've also garnered other national awards, an achievement that has earned San Diego Mesa College special recognition as a top Gilman producing institution for a community college. In order to increase these numbers institutionally, we hope to email all of our Pell Grant recipients about the scholarship in the future. By combining storytelling, education, and financial support, we've built a structure that not only invites students into the conversation, but helps them see themselves as part of the global learning community, one that's truly grounded in equity. And now let's hear from another student.
Hello everyone, I'm Ashley Lopez. I'm originally from Chiapas, Mexico, and moved to the United States by myself when I was 15. Back then, the idea of studying in a different country felt completely out of reach for someone like me. But in 2023, I had the life-changing opportunity to study in Madrid, Spain with San Diego Mesa College and through the Gilman Scholarship. Living and learning in a different country changed my mind, gave me confidence, and inspired me to keep going, and it's a big part of why I am here today at UCLA after transferring from San Diego Mesa College this year. I know firsthand how powerful the study abroad experience can be. It gives students a new perspective and can truly shape their life. That's why I truly believe every student deserves the opportunity to study abroad, no matter their background. So I'm really grateful for having this time to share my story. And so thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Hello everyone, I'm Ashley.
As you can see, the transformation goes well beyond academics. It extends into how our students connect, collaborate, and bring these experiences back to our campus community. And that sense of shared growth brings us to our next theme, growing together. At Mesa, we believe so strongly in the power of study abroad that we focus not just on sustaining it, but helping to grow. We want even more of our students to have access to these kinds of life-changing experiences. One of our priorities is creating heritage and legacy programming that connects more closely with our students' cultural identities and lived experiences. For examples, I'll be joining the next trip to Ghana to build partnerships and explore opportunities for future programming that will appeal specifically to our Black student population and Moja program. We're also exploring new destinations such as in Oaxaca, Mexico, designed for our Puente and HSI students in mind. These types of culturally connected programs help students see themselves reflected in the global experience. We also are looking at ways to make our program more sustainable and financially accessible. And I'd like to bring your attention to our community travel program, which are our short non-instructional trips open to anybody and everybody in the community. Part of the travel costs will go directly to our study abroad scholarship programming to offer full support for our most deserving and underrepresented students, and ideally help support our ongoing coordination for our study abroad efforts. All of this reflects how we continue to grow together as faculty, students, and a college community committed to providing global opportunities to change lives. And finally, on behalf of our students and faculty, we want to thank specifically Vice President Dr. O'Connor for her extensive support and Dr. Hans for sharing our vision. Thank you for our board for your ongoing support for San Diego Mesa College's programming. Your leadership really makes these experiences possible, and their impact reaches far beyond the classroom. I would like to ask you if you just stand if you've been in one of our study abroad programs. Faculty and students, thank you for being here with us today. I'd also like you to stand if you've spoken about study abroad, supported study abroad, signed forms for study abroad, and helped our students through the entire process. It takes a village, and we are in this together. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Krista Stelmacher, and I am proud to serve as the Director of Development and Entrepreneurship for San Diego Mesa College and in support of the San Diego Mesa College Foundation. And I really want to go to Iceland on the community travel trip. But I'm not here to talk to you about Iceland. I'm here to talk to you about the spirit of Mesa. And when I say the spirit of Mesa, I don't just mean what makes us special. What I am talking about is our second annual culminating fundraising event that took place on October 10th, 2025. And thank you, Trustee Magana, for joining us. For those of you who were not able to make it, we embraced this year, this moment, our mission as a focus to draw attention to just how critical our mission is at this time. And we considered that beyond a theme, a call to action to our community to stand alongside our students. The way we did that was to root ourselves in purpose and ground ourselves in equity. We treated this evening like a conversation, which is difficult to do with the number of guests that we had. But every single one of our attendees had the opportunity to engage with our World Art Collection directly, as well as our students. And just as Tara mentioned, the messages to our students that are on the stairs, a lot of those came from our attendees. We grew together through this event. Last year, we had 15, our first year, we had 15 sponsors. This grew to 20. We had last year in 2024, 180 guests. This grew to 240 attendees. And last year we raised $67,000. This grew to $80,000 in support of our students. Through the evening, we were able to shine a light on 3 critical areas in which Mesa and the incredible faculty and classified professionals are making a difference. We were able to shine a light on that through our student voices. So for those of you that didn't make it, I will invite you into the videos that we showed, and then I will invite up our guest speaker, our keynote for the evening, Maritere Rodriguez. Can we get the video going?
My name is Evie Maher. My pronouns are they, them, and I am a San Diego Mesa College student. I love education simply for the purpose that it feels like I'm making the most of my time alive in this life and on this planet. My image of the world became so much broader, and my appreciation for the cultures from which the objects come just grew exponentially. We also host film screenings here, guest lecturers, presentations sometimes. I will say the main thing I am overcoming is the commute. I love San Diego. I've lived here all my life. The public transportation system is a little bit of a challenge. I live about a 20-minute car ride away from home. The bus route is an hour and a half on a good day. So it's a busy life, but it's really rewarding, and I am enriched by everything that I have experienced at Mesa. It's a time of division, it's a time of fear, it's a time of fracturing in a lot of ways, but I have seen the college try and mend some of those cracks and try and mend something of the system that we all have to participate in. And especially at Mesa College, I've seen people really trying to take a stand against the forces that seek to divide us and to build the kind of understanding among people.
I'm Jay Banda. I am a project assistant at the STAND, the Basic Needs Center on campus. So I help students with like free food and clothing, other support wherever we can, housing, transportation, school supplies. Being part of the STAND, it provides me that opportunity to be like kind of like ear on the ground and be able to see like what is affecting us the most, what we need help with the most, and also to be an advocate for that. Being a peer navigator and be able to meet so many students and to be like a mentor to them was something that completely blew me away, and it was another one of the more proudest things I've experienced here. The spirit of Mesa, of course, to me means excellence and equity. But another facet of it that I feel like isn't talked about enough is its perseverance. I feel like students here are very determined to succeed, and we're willing to support each other. Students always have that opportunity to kind of grow and open their mind and to meet people. One of the bigger things that I face personally is, of course, like tuition, paying for books, transportation, afford to get here. That is one of my biggest challenges. Though fortunate for me, I had many programs at Mesa and services that helped mitigate a lot of those costs. I had the Promise program my first 2 years at Mesa that I didn't have to pay tuition and it covered my books. Everyone here wants to help you, and they're gonna put in 110% to make sure that you are supported. And it can be life-saving stuff. It can be like, it's like how to even get here, or to make sure that you have support. I think now more than ever, it's especially important that the community supports itself, supports its students and the people who want to invest in the future, in order to ensure that students are supported, that they can reach their goals and attain those dreams, is to make sure that we have a strong community around us. It's especially important that they feel that support and to make sure they can keep going to school, keep challenging themselves, and keep pushing to succeed wherever they are.
I am Jariah Laurenville, she, her pronouns. I'm a psychology and biotechnology major at San Diego Mesa College. Oftentimes, people will ask me that question, and what I say now is my biggest motivator is my children. And by extension, the children that I've had the privilege of working with in different capacities in my professional career. And so working with children from divested, disadvantaged, whatever the identifier is, what I saw was that those students have the potential to experience the things that I experienced in my life, which was slipping through the cracks. There are supports in place and connections that you can make when you find the right environment. Experiences across all of the internships that I've been able to do have changed both my trajectory, so where I want to go to school, what I specifically want to do, as well as just meeting people and understanding like journeys are not linear. It's just definitely redeemed my beliefs about my story and has helped me to reframe my story in a way that, okay, you know, not only is your trajectory plausible or possible, like that's more than certain. Like, no, you can actually do something impactful that changes the lives of many. You can do things, like you're smart and you can learn, and that's what allows a student to have the freedom to actually focus on that internship and in return actually give the community their ROI. The spirit of Mesa is an environment where students feel at home. If you are in the business of supporting community, then obviously this community college is the one that you want to support. Not just because it's a community college, or not just because it's a good thing to do, but because supporting students here helps those students to go to Yale, helps those students to create novel interventions that literally change people's lives. It helps students to feel like more of themselves, feel comfortable, want to be here in the world, dream and hope and think that things are not hopeless. So yeah, if you're about supporting any of that, which you should be, then, you know, this is an easy yes.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak today and for your service to MESA and the sister colleges. As a student, I can tell you that your leadership matters. My story is just one example of how much. This is not the first time I have been able to tell this story. Krista talked to you about the Spirit of MESA a little over a year. I attended the first Spirit of MESA event with my dad. We had such a great time taking pictures at the photo booth, meeting my professors, and trust me, my dad couldn't believe how many of them recognized me. As we sat down, the lights came down, and a student named Angel welcomed to the stage. His story was so powerful and inspiring, and right in the middle of his speech, my dad turned to me, smiled, and said, "How incredible would it be if you were standing up there next year?" I laughed and I said, "Yeah, maybe one day." Well, that day was October 10th, just a little bit over 1 month ago. Thanks to Mesa College and the Mesa College Foundation, I was able to proudly share my journey with over 200 people. I felt so confident that day. At first, I was a little bit nervous when I started to give my speech, but as I looked into the audience and saw their faces really listening to me and looking at with such bright face, the fear went away. And I started to enjoy the moment. I also felt incredibly supported by the entire team who made this event possible. Without a doubt, Spirit of Mesa was one of those days you wish you could relive again and never have to end. For those of you who were not able to attend, I want to share a small part of what I was able to say on that magical evening. To understand the person standing in front of you today, I would like to share a little bit of my background. I've always been fortunate to have parents and a grandfather who believed in me no matter what. No dream was ever too big or too crazy for them. I was born and raised in Mexico City, and I'm an only child. A few years ago, I made a decision to start a new life here in San Diego without my parents or anyone to guide me. Just a big dream and a lot of nerves, a lot about English. But here I am, 3 years later, proud of how far I've become. But even though my family has been a blessing in my life, that doesn't mean everything was easy. One of the hardest parts for me was school, not because of math, no, or assignments, but it was because how I was feeling about the community and in my classroom. I was hoping that the bullying that it was getting me for my entire life is gonna stop when I enroll in the veterinary school in Mexico. Becoming a veterinarian has been my dream since I was little, when my mom and I used to rescue stray dogs from the streets. She always preferred that I be the one to crawl under the cars to get them out, because for some strange reason, the dogs will bite her, but never me. But the bullying that had following me since childhood only got worse. I became victim of cyberbullying, and some of my classmates made videos and making fun about me, and later I get ignored by the entire class. But eventually, the things became even harder when one of my lab classmates treated me with a scalpel in front of everyone. That was the moment when my grandpa realized that I was struggling with depression and anxiety. Desperate because no one will help, he convinced my parents that I need to start over in San Diego. This could be a place where I could finally be safe and start a new life. I say with pride that my first semester at Mesa was incredible. I joined the diving team, the Terra Mesa Club, the chemistry club, and even became part of the Mesa Impactship program. I can only honestly say I never had a bad day. Being part of all those communities, spending time with my classmates and professors, little by little, Mesa started to feel like my second home, a safe place where I could finally be myself after everything I had been through. Mesa College has been a catapult for my dreams, thanks to the guidance and support of the Mesa Impactship program, because I am now able to be part of an incredible research team at UCSD Scripps Institution of Oceanography in the Fish Evolution Lab. I am the only undergraduate intern at that lab. So, yeah. And all of this began because Mesa believed in us, in our dreams, and guided us to achieve them. I stand here proud to be a student, an athlete, a first-generation student in my family, a woman in science, and the future veterinarian I dream of becoming. My dream is to be here every day, to keep learning, growing, and inspiring others, showing that the dreams come true. And here I am, in the right time and in the perfect place. Thank you so much.
We are so proud of Meritere and all that she has accomplished and what she is doing. She got her applications in already for transfer, and we know we're going to have great news to share about her story. So as I was discussing with Cabinet when we were planning this presentation, we talked about the many ways that our colleges show who we are. And so someone reminded me that if we truly are going to represent Mesa, that we needed to make sure that we included our world-renowned gelato. And so as we close out our program, I would like to invite our team to share some information, to share some gelato with our board members. And while they do that, I want to highlight a student from our culinary arts program. This is Darren Phillips, and Darren would have loved to have been here with us, but he is busy doing some things right now, right? And so I'm just going to read a little bit about his story. Darren Phillips has worked in the restaurant industry for more than 30 years. He enrolled in the specialized baking and pastry certificate here at Mesa to expand his skills and create new opportunities for himself in the field. And don't worry, you guys are going to get some gelato too. Okay, so during his final semester, Darren applied and was accepted to the Access Internships Worldwide program, becoming the 7th Mesa College culinary student to earn this distinction and only the 2nd to be placed in Spain. Right now, yes. Right now, Darren is completing a 2-week Spanish language immersion program, and on November 17th, he will begin a 2-month internship in Atempo, a Michelin-starred restaurant in Barcelona. He will be learning alongside world-renowned chefs Jordi Cruz and Inaki Aldre. This is the kind of transformation, possibility, and excellence that happens here at Mesa, and we could not be more proud of Darren. And so, because I'm glad that we started at 4:15, I'm going to use these last 2 minutes to close us out. I just want to thank you all for spending this hour for us and for with us and for witnessing the heart, talent, and commitment that defines Mesa College. What you heard today reflects the work of a community that believes deeply in the potential of our students and moves with purpose to open doors, remove barriers, and extend opportunities. So as we look ahead, we will continue to strengthen our practices, widen our pathways, and build a structure of belonging that supports and welcomes every student who chooses Mesa. This is how we honor our mission and how we honor the trust that you place in each of us. So before we close, I want to express my heartfelt appreciation to the many people who helped to make today possible. Thanks to the President's Office, a team who worked tirelessly behind the scenes. Thank you to our district and college AV and tech teams for ensuring everything runs seamlessly. Thank you to our facilities for preparing our spaces and care. Thank you to our culinary arts program for their craft, hospitality, gelato, especially Chef Tanya, Chef Jordania, and our student, Lucas Campiano. And thank you to everyone who helped to support, plan, logistics, gift bag preparation, and all the thoughtful details to allow Mesa to shine. To our Board of Trustees, to Chancellor Smith, thank you for your partnership, your belief in what makes the community colleges possible. We are Mesa. We are rooted in purpose. We are grounded in equity, and we are growing together. Sawubona.
Thank you, President Hands. And thank you, Mesa, for having us and for showing us everything that you are. Any comments or questions from my colleagues? I think Trustee Magana.
Of course, I'm going to say, Spirit of Mesa, this is the second year, right? So I went the first year and the gelato was the hit the first year. And when it came the second year, I got 3 flavors. But mango was my favorite, so thank you. And the presentations were fantastic. Good job, Mesa.
I have a whole list of things here, but I'm not going to do that whole list. I thought the internship, the MIP internship, was just terrific. Hopefully all of our students have a chance to do that. So many of them don't get a chance to have experience in the workplace. Did I see a poster from the student research conference in your presentation? Did, yeah. Yes, yeah, that was, so that leads me up to just say, Krista, where are you? You're fabulous. You're helping the student research folks, the Pride Center, find ways to raise money so that they can continue their work. And it was great. It's always a wonderful experience. I'm always glad to hear from students. I miss being with students. So a little bit. Thank you very much.
Anyone else? No? Okay. Oh, wait.
And the gelato is great.
That's fine.
It's fine. I have one quick thing, because I think City College is fully aware of how I've made efforts to demonstrate I support them. I just want Mesa to know I'm here with you too.
He just put his foot next to my gelato.
Sorry.
I love my gelato too. Thank you. And thank you for a great presentation.
Yes. Yes. Beautiful presentation, beautiful music, in those videos and just the stories of our students, doing great. I thank you for sharing your story. I wish I had been here, to hear it all. I'm sure I can find a video, but I can relate a lot to what you, share back when I was a student at City College. So I wish you the best. And thank you all for supporting our students, to ensure that they do great things and they have a better life, which is all that we want, right, in life. I think with that, we're gonna end this portion of our meeting. Thank you, Mesa, for having us. We have another meeting to have too. So we're gonna take I always get in trouble, a 5-minute break, and that will be at 5:23 or 5:25. Or 5:20, I know. 5:30. Okay, I think we're gonna get started. We're live? Okay, great. Well, welcome back.
You know, if you leave that.
Put it here. Welcome back. So we're gonna continue with our agenda, and now we go through the approval of the minutes. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes? Yes, and are there any additions or corrections? No, okay, seeing none. The minutes stand approved. Item 501, are there any items to remove from the agenda?
I'd like to remove item 14.05 from the agenda.
14.05 has been removed. Okay, now we're gonna develop our consent calendar. This allows the Board of Trustees to vote on a group of items that are routine, standard, non-controversial, or self-explanatory. As always, any items in section 9, board policies, and 10, new business, will automatically be pulled for discussion, as will 16 information items. Are there any items to pull for discussion in section 11, instructional services? No items to pull. Section 12, student services. 1201. Section 13, budget and finance. No items to pull on 13. Section 14, human resources.
Nothing in 13?
Nothing in 13.
Okay.
Nothing, and nothing in 14.
Okay.
Section 15, facilities, buildings, and real estate, we have several. 1501, 1509, 1510. Is it 1504? Okay, in between 1501 and 1509, you can squeeze there 1504. Okay. Alrighty, so, we're moving to the, academic senate's agenda items. Does the academic senate wish to pull any items at this time? Okay, thank you. So, may I have a motion and a second on our consent calendar?
So moved.
Second. Moved by trustee Milgram, second by trustee Marishu. Will the board members in favor please vote aye?
Aye.
Aye, okay, it passes unanimously. The board is open to receiving public comments. This is the public comment period of the board agenda. If anyone participating remotely would like to make public comment, please email boardoffice@sdccd.edu for further direction. Remarks are limited to 4 minutes or 32 minutes for a group speaking on the same subject, which will be monitored by the board secretary. Unless it's an emergency, no action will be taken at this board meeting, but your concerns will be referred to the chancellor and you will be notified of the chancellor's findings and recommendations. But before the public comments are read, we will call on academic senates first. We have from City College, Mona Al-Saraini. Thank you. Welcome.
Wow, I got applause before I even spoke. Special. Good evening, Board President and members of the board, Chancellor Smith. I have a few things to report. For the most part, my report is focused on our ASCCC, the State Academic Senate plenary resolutions. We passed a number of resolutions and our Senate presidents decided to share a few resolutions that are especially important to our campus. So I will start with, let's see, a resolution titled Faculty, Counselors, and Student Education Plans. So as you know, I am passionate, I guess that could be the right word, about AI. Not in the kind of way that we usually use that word, but there's been a lot of talk and maybe shifting of the conversation around AI at ASCCC. Many people are still in favor of AI literacy. I think there is a big shift in having a conversation about the ethical implications, the implications for our jobs, for human-to-human contact. So this resolution is a reflection of that. I'll just read the resolved statements. Resolved that the Academic Senate for California Community Colleges affirm that counseling faculty should be the primary author, reviewer, and approver of student education plans and student education plan automated processes, whether comprehensive or abbreviated, and that such responsibilities should not be delegated to paraprofessionals, automated platforms, or artificial intelligence tools. And resolved that the ASCCC urges local academic senates to work with administration, faculty unions, and counseling departments to ensure that policies, staffing structures, and technological adoptions protect the faculty role of counselors in the preparation and approval of student education plans. So in short, don't give our counseling jobs to AI, please. Okay. Next, I have one more to read. So the next one is called Faculty and Local Academic Senates Voice and Dual Enrollment. This is an area that we've been discussing a lot at our college. I think our campus particularly has taken on significant role in discussing academic senate's role in dual enrollment. And I think this gives us the green light to have an even more significant role. Let's see. Resolve the ASCCC affirms that dual enrollment is college instruction fully under faculty purview and local academic senate processes across the 10+1, including curriculum, program development, grading and assessment, professional learning, and academic standards. Resolved, the ASCCC encourages academic senates to establish clear governance processes for dual enrollment, including curriculum approval, discipline assignment, and minimum quals, faculty evaluation, and student support, ensuring consistency with faculty responsibilities and existing collective bargaining agreements. And resolve the ASCCC in a paper and/or resource on dual enrollment that clarifies the alignment of dual enrollment with the 10+1 and provides implementation tools, promising practices, and policy support to be presented at the fall 2027 plenary session. So hopefully fall 2027, we'll see a resource that can help us, but we also have some work to do as far as the second resolve in assuring that we have alignment. Okay, and the last one I won't read, but I'll just read you the title and tell you what we will be doing in relation to this. It is disaggregating Middle Eastern and North African, otherwise known as MENA, student data. This started as legislation at the state level, and then several student groups took it on. There is an interest across the state in disaggregating this data at the community college level. And so I hope that in the coming months, we can figure out how to do that here in our district so that we can figure out how to serve those students. And we can't serve them unless we know who they are. Right? And then that's it for ASCCC. A lot of other resolutions passed, so I will pass on the full packet to all of you in case you have nothing to read lately. But I also want to highlight some stuff that's been happening at our campus. Recently, as you know, because I haven't stopped talking about it, we invited Chris Smalls, the labor activist and humanitarian, and we packed the Seville Theater twice, once for a panel that he served on, in which he was literally on his way from the airport in Orange County to San Diego, zooming in because his flights were canceled the day before. And then the second one in which he was there in person. So that means close to 600 students had contact with the programming, which I think is really important regardless of what your politics are. Being exposed to new ideas, to radical ideas, to someone who was fired from his job at Amazon, and instead of deciding to just give up or, figure out something else to do, he decided to start a union. And I just want to quote his probably most powerful line was that for 360 days, he stood with a group outside of the Amazon warehouse in New Jersey, trying to get people to sign on to their union. 360 days, rain or shine, rejection for 360 days. So just hearing that, I think for students really helps to helps them to understand that activism, that change is not easy and it's hard and it takes persistence. He also illustrated how much pushback he got and how people called him not smart, not articulate. And I think for a lot of our students particularly, they feel that very deeply. And so I think he was a big inspiration to everyone. I also want to give credit to everyone who made that happen. Some of those people are here. So if you're an SJP student who worked on that event in any way, please stand up. So thank you so much. This event was special. Okay, you can sit down. This event was special because it was for the students, by the students, and while I had to offer some support as far as logistical things, the students planned this event. They planned this humongous Seville Theater event from like every single detail from start to finish. And I really think that it was a significant learning experience for them because it was not easy. There were a lot of challenges along the way. So I also want to recognize our facilities and theater people, our college president, our dean, Andy, who I don't think is here, but who all just helped eliminate barriers for us because when anything that students are trying to do, whether you agree with it or not, again, I think the greatest thing that our support people and our admin can do is just help eliminate barriers for students so that they can get it done. So so thank you all the students for making that happen and for just continuing to push and do the work that you do. Our Senate is, we haven't been super busy since the last time I was here. It felt like just a week ago. But we are working on a resolution to increase sustainability on our campus, specifically in events. And like today, I brought my coffee cup and I felt super proud of it, like this tiny little thing, right? But we're asking that all events on campus work sustainably. So reduce single-use plastic or try to eliminate it altogether, eliminate any kind of single-use plastic cutlery, things like that. So hopefully that passes this next Senate meeting, and then I will have more to report about that. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Mary Wynn from Mesa College. Welcome.
My reputation precedes me. All right. Okay. So first of all, thank you for being here, everyone, and especially the chancellor and the trustees. Our Senate is doing well. ASCCC met last week, like Mona said, and thanks to the generous increase in our travel funds, we were able to pay for 5 faculty members to attend. For 2 of them, this was the first time they were able to attend an ASCCC meeting. And this is really great because we want to encourage more faculty participation in the Senate. So I want to say thank you, President Hands, for that. Really, you made that possible. We also want to thank our Vice President of Instruction, Isabel O'Connor, for giving us some release time for the important but difficult and time-consuming work of faculty co-chair program review. We've needed this for a long time, so we're especially grateful. We're wrapping up the semester on the 1st of December with voting on a few resolutions, and I'll report on that at the next board meeting. But like Mona said, the presidents got together and we said, hey, wouldn't it be fun if we read some resolves? And we said, yeah, that'd be great. So anyway, this resolution was written by our very own Takima Mayasa, and it was passed by acclamation. It's an important resolution because it advances the autonomy of ethnic studies disciplines as individual disciplines. So let me quickly find my notes here. Oh, yes, here we are. I'm just going to read the title and the resolves. And here we go. So the resolution title is Assign Ethnic Studies and the 4 autonomous core disciplines: African American Studies, Asian American Studies, American Indian, Native American Studies, and Chicano, Latino Studies courses and programs to their appropriate new taxonomy of programs, or in other words, top codes. And the resolved that got passed what says, resolved that the Academic Senate for California Community Colleges work with the California Community Colleges Chancellor's Office and the California Community Colleges Ethnic Studies Faculty Council to remove ethnic studies and the 4 autonomous core disciplines: African American Studies, American Indian, Native American Studies, Asian American Studies, and Chicano, Latino Studies from the school of, from the Social Justice Studies Taxonomy of Programs, or top codes, family, and assign these 5 disciplines to their appropriate autonomous core discipline codes within the Ethnic Studies top code family, and encourage local academic senates and curriculum committees to update their local coding practices to reflect the top code reassignments. All right, and that again passed by acclamation. But one more thing before I go, I want to mention it. So we have a really beautiful exhibit on our campus in the museum over by the parking lot. I went down, it opened on Monday, and I went down like the place opens at like noon, and I got there like at 12:05, and they hadn't put up the signs yet. They had the artwork up, but they hadn't put up the signs yet. And Professor Alessandra Moctezuma was there, and she talked me through it. She talked to me about the stuff that was there. And she really is amazing. So I wanted to mention her name publicly, but also this exhibit. The title of the exhibit is, where did it go? I had it in my notes here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Reimagining La Línea. And it's an exhibition about migration, which highlights the work of 30 artists and 2 collectives. And the idea behind it is that migration has been a vital force in the shaping of the United States, and the San Diego-Tijuana region clearly exemplifies this. We're a diverse community alive with layered cultures, languages, and traditions from all around the globe. The border wall, or La Línea, is intended as an impenetrable boundary, but it reveals itself as porous, with the highest number of lawful daily crossings of any other U.S. port of entry. The artwork bears witness to the human condition at the border, as well as to the journeys and dreams carried across it. The exhibition challenges viewers to imagine an alternative future where boundaries are fluid sites of connection rather than division, and transforms the gallery into a space of empathy and imagination. So if you get a chance, go check it out. It's open through December 16th. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, do we have Rodrigo Gomez from Miramar College? Hi, Rodrigo. Welcome.
Hello, can you hear me okay? Good. It's my second time, so I'm still getting acclimated. Good afternoon, President Hands, Chancellor Smith, members of the board. It's great to be here with you again. I'd like to begin by acknowledging and praising the work that our sister college has done here and the impressive work that they've highlighted for all of you today. So thank you for the inspiration and for the model. I'll keep today's updates focused on what has developed since our last meeting. So our academic senate met and we worked on our mission and vision statements. And I got to say, it was pretty interesting to see us wordsmith 2 statements. It's pretty nice. We got them down to where we wanted them. It's a very technical process, not usually that productive in a single meeting. So I was very glad to see that happen. As far as the fall plenary, I have the pleasure here of reading you resolution 102.04, which is support for AI literacy integration in general education and workforce development. And part of the reason that I'm really interested in that resolution is some of what it breaks down and what it makes clear about AI literacy. So let me actually find that and we can dive in. So I will read the first whereas because it's a very important whereas. Whereas AI literacy as used within this resolution is defined as the possessing of basic competencies to understand the functions of AI, evaluating and applying strategic uses of AI in different real-world scenarios, as well as assessing the ethical and social concerns when utilizing AI. It continues in that way, right, with a few whereases. But the important definition here is on AI literacy does not equate to AI technology, AI tools. It's an understanding of those tools that was established through this resolution. And so the resolved are that the Academic Senate for California Community Colleges work with the California Colleges Chancellor's Office to advocate for resources to support faculty professionals learning and developing artificial intelligence literacy among students. The second resolve was that the Academic Senate establish a faculty task force to draft language on how artificial intelligence literacy can be included in curriculum across all disciplines, and then actually had an amendment to might, how it might be used. So the potential is there. And the third resolve did not pass. It was an attempt to look at Title V regulation and see if there is a shift necessary there. But that did not pass. That was separated and struck down. And then I do have some more reports based on our own Senate's conversation, but I want to kind of go back to the point of this resolution and say that what really came out of the conversation was that AI literacy does not equal endorsement or required use of any AI tools. It preserves the full local autonomy of each college to adopt, limit, and prohibit AI in alignment with its values, if they so choose. It focuses on critical understanding, not technical adoption. Understanding what AI is and how it works, understanding its impact on society, labor, and ethics, evaluating claims about AI critically and thoughtfully, and making informed and responsible decisions. So that was a very nice resolution for the sake of definition, because we know we have 4 districts which all have very different definitions on AI literacy, and having done now PD across the state and outside the state, I know that there's a lot of different definitions for AI literacy. So here we have maybe a beginning point for what could be a starting point for all of us to use as a foundational, similar take on AI. And if I may, before I rush out of here, because I know my colleague Richard is not here from CE, he had to head out because of his father's birthday. There is a resolution that he wanted to read that I will read for him. And it is the resolution on supporting CE faculty in the creation of CE curriculum, essentially. Let me see which resolution number it was. It was 104.01, affirming non-credit faculty expertise in non-credit curriculum and pathway development. So he just wanted me to share that with you, and he's sorry he had to go. So thank you so much.
Thank you. So that was Richard Weinberg, right? He left. Yes. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna call next on the classified senates for their update. Thank you.
Hello, I will be giving a report for both Miramar College and for Mesa College. And I'm going to start with Miramar College. They have a few updates from their classified senate in terms of their fall Thank You Gram fundraiser. They said they're excited to launch their annual Thank You Gram fundraiser. This gives colleagues a chance to recognize one another, and part of the proceeds will go towards supporting the EOPS, CARE, Next Up, and CalWorks programs, helping parents and former foster youth during the holiday season. In terms of wellness and initiative, they're planning to participate in the San Diego County Workplace Step Challenge in January. It's a great way to promote health and wellness among classified professionals. And then lastly, in place of professional development and governance, this semester, Miramar College's focus has been on professional development opportunities and implementing the 9+1 framework to strengthen classified participation in shared governance. Miramar College thanks you for your continued support of classified professionals and the work they do to enhance student success and campus engagement. So for Mesa College, I will say that I didn't realize how much work we've actually been doing this year, this semester, until I actually thought about it and really went through everything that we did. So I guess I'm going to start with the classified professionals had expressed a need for AI literacy in our classified, that's more classified focus, since most of the conversations have been around academic integrity and AI. So the classified senate and the loft came together to create what we like to call the Classified AI Collective, affectionately known as CAKE. This initiative helps us as classified professionals explore AI and how we can make our work more efficient and creative. while still doing the work that we need to do every day. We will be launching it at our mini-con, which is a mini classified conference. It's professional development where we get together as all the classified professionals on campus, come together and learn different aspects of the campus, learn different professional development things, and have a lot of fun together. So that'll be launched there. We're excited about that. We've also did a office decorating contest for in conjunction with the Associated Students during our homecoming. Thank you. During our homecoming. It was super fun. We had departments from all over campus, student services, instructional services, as well as our administrative services as well. And our winner was our student health office. They did a haunted mansion. So it was super fun. They had you ride in a little, what was that called? The wheelchair? And it was like you're going through the haunted mansion. It was so much fun. And a lot of our students really enjoyed that as well. So that was really nice to connect with them. And then this past month, we've been doing a food drive for our children's center around the corner. Normally we do a holiday drive. They ask for supplies to celebrate different events for their students. So they've expressed the need that for food, as food insecurities they've experienced with a lot of their families. So we hosted a food drive for them, and we got about 800 pounds of food delivered over to them this week, which was super, super fun, and we were very excited. We also have our fall fundraiser happening right now. We're calling it affectionately Pals with a Purpose. Our campus community can purchase a little baby dinosaur and a sweet treat and write a nice little message to a friend, family, loved one, anyone they want to, and we'll deliver it to them for a short little piece of change, but it's really nice, and it goes to supporting our Classified Senate Scholarship and our Professional Development Fund. So that's really exciting. And as we look forward for the next semester, we're excited about our classified awards ceremony. We're going to be hosting a fundraising week, as well as trying to get our entire Senate to the Classified Leadership Institute, which is hosted by California Community College Classified Senate. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for sharing and for taking these leadership roles. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to public comment.
Our first public commenter is Monica Romero.
I was going to say good afternoon, but I think it's good evening, Chancellor and board members. Thank you for being here at San Diego Mesa College. We welcome you. So I want to give an update from the SDCC Managers Association. So yesterday we held our general fall membership meeting, and we shared the board's strategic priorities for the year from the association. And I wanted to share those with you as well. Well, the first focus area is member support, really directly supporting our members in the work that they do and in their employment, communication with our membership and improving that between the board and our members, and also really upping our professional development. Last Friday, we had Dr. Stephen Jones come as an example of one of our professional development opportunities for our members. The other area of focus is organizational strength. And so we're focusing on our budget and how to effectively use that for our members, our bylaws and our management handbook, along with our RAF negotiations with you all. These priorities are guiding our activities throughout the year, and we look forward to continuing to share those with you. Under the priority of member support, we wish to express concern regarding the termination of a management employee. Based on information presented, questions have arisen whether this action adhered to the processes and procedures outlined in the management handbook. The handbook exists to promote fairness, transparency, and consistency in all personnel actions involving management employees. The situation has raised serious concerns among managers and supervisors, impacting confidence in SDCC's commitment to due process and equitable treatment. It has also created uncertainty around how managerial roles and contributions are valued and supported by SDCCD, which left unaddressed could foster a culture of exclusion or unbelonging. As we move forward, our goal is to work collaboratively with the board and SDCCD to ensure that the management handbook is upheld and the confidence in our processes is restored through respectful and constructive engagement. In terms of collaboration also, at the November 10th Supervisors and Managers meeting, Chancellor Smith announced the operational pilot for the 36-hour work week for classified staff, supervisors, and most managers. The Management Association appreciates the consideration for work-life balance for managers, especially given the significant work creep that has occurred over the last few years in management roles. We support this pilot, and we look forward to engaging with SDCCD on the implementation and gathering the outcomes data from this pilot. Thank you very much for your time and support.
Thank you. The next speaker is Elizabeth.
Hello, members of the board, community members, and City and Mesa SJP members. My name is Elizabeth V, and I'm a third-year Mesa student and president of Students for Justice in Palestine at Mesa College. First, I want to give a little bit of an update on how Mesa SJP is doing. I find myself refraining from sharing what we do as a student organization, but since we're here celebrating Mesa, why not celebrate us? This Monday, we had an amazing event that Mona talked about briefly, but yeah, we hosted Chris Smalls, a very famous labor organizer, and we got up to 600 students and introduced them to organizing for Palestine, specifically as it pertains to the intersection of the labor fight and the fight for Palestine and their liberation. I also want to give a special thank you to Trustee Mariah Jameson for coming by. I saw you sitting there in the front row, which means so much to me as a student and makes me feel so supported and makes us feel supported just to see you there. So thank you. Additionally, this morning, actually, the Chicano Studies Department here at Mesa, in collaboration with a couple of Palestinian and anti-war organizations, hosted a live reading of the 1971 anti-war Vietnam era play, Soldado Raso, adapted today by students for students about the Palestinian struggle for liberation. This event was great, and I learned so much about the US military and kind of reaffirmed what I already knew, and how predatory it is towards people of color. I mean, duh. And how it feeds off of this expectation that access to food, shelter, healthcare, and education should be earned through military service, which mirrors Israel's demand for military service. Finally, over the past 2 days, BSU and SJP have collaborated on 2 separate events, one poetry writing event and the other an open mic night, which is going on right now. So when you get a chance to leave, I invite you to come. It's in D101, right next to the Pride Center. I also want to thank the City College administrators, specifically Chancellor Smith, and other board members for meeting with us and promising to publicly reverse your position on From the River to the Sea, Palestine will be free statement, which it will, inshallah. Not many administrators would change their opinion on an issue like this, but doing so publicly would mean so much to us as students, to get accountability and a change of understanding. It is imperative that this school and district keep to its culture of indiscriminate social justice and free speech action, pedagogy, and policy. So again, please publicly reverse this comment, stand with your Muslim, Arab, and pro-Palestinian students, and as one of the most populated community college districts in the state, withdrawing from this conflation will only help Arab students feel safe all over California and by extension, minimize the acceptance and tolerance of discrimination across the board. Free Palestine, free Sudan, free Lebanon, free Congo, free Venezuela, free all oppressed peoples from US and Israeli militarism. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Danny.
Hello, my name is Danny Rozo, and I'm from SJP City College. I told you we'd be back, so here we are. First, I also want to thank Trustee Jameson for showing your support and attending our event on Monday. If any of the rest of you were there, I didn't see you, but you have my gratitude as well. Today, our demands are simple. First, the district must create a truly safe environment for all students. That means recognizing that pro-Palestinian students have been singled out, marginalized, mischaracterized when they speak out about their own histories and identities. Protecting them is not controversial, it's the district's job. And student safety should be a top priority and cannot be selective. Second, and we touched on this in the last board meeting, we demand that this board correct its harmful decision to label From the River to the Sea as anti-Semitic publicly. This action, even if unintended, contributed to the stigmatization of Arab, Muslim, and Palestinian students and cast suspicion on students advocating for human rights. An explicit public acknowledgement is necessary to rebuild the trust and ensure that no student feels that their identity or grief is inherently problematic. To clarify, we greatly appreciate the kind words that this board said at the last meeting. We are looking forward to a widespread correction, contacting every individual that received official communications that that phrase was anti-Semitic. Third, the San Diego Community College District must establish an ethical procurement committee. This is not about politics. It's about responsibility and basic human decency. Students and faculty deserve a voice on how district resources are spent. Our divestment resolution has now been passed by 5 governing bodies across the district, and we're hoping for a 6th right here at Mesa soon. An ethical procurement committee allows the district to avoid complicity in systems that perpetuate harm and ensures transparency, accountability, and shared governance. This is one way that this institution can live up to its stated values. And then finally, student activism must be protected and not punished. This district has a proud history of student activism. We cannot allow fear, bad faith accusations, or external pressures to determine who gets to speak and who gets silenced. Protecting speech, especially the speech of vulnerable groups, is essential to a healthy learning environment. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Marco Guajardo.
Hello, board members and chancellor and public. Thanks for having us here. My name is Marco Guajardo. I am co-chair of SJP and a media student at City College. I want to start off by advocating for a full-time lab tech be installed at City College and that you hire Chieftain. I also want to start off by just bragging about the event that we had on Monday. I think if you were there, you probably know, board member Jameson, how special the atmosphere was. I'm not sure if you stayed for both parts or if you walked out with the rest of the crowd at the end of the first part, but it was a special atmosphere. The panel was incredible. There's something about that theater that when you fill it up and you put chairs on it and you have people speak, that it draws people in. Luckily, we were able to fill that space through the hard work of all of our members and the facilities, theater, communications team. We reached out to multiple departments to figure out how we were going to get someone of such stature to City College, and we asked Chicano Studies departments, we asked the English department, we asked AFT, and they all helped us get Chris Smalls out here, and along with another distinguished panelist. After the event, we did coordinate an action, which it was a march up to Quran Plaza in coordination with the CalSTRS Divest campaign. It's a statewide campaign, and this specific action was coordinated with 4 other cities in California. the campaign was a success. I had a chance to talk with Callie Mayhew. She's one of the AFT, I think the vice president for the union. Today, actually, I talked with her, and she was letting me know about some of the campaign work they do. And some of that campaign work they did involved getting a lot of the board members here elected, a lot of other important politicians in San Diego getting elected. And I remembered that the AFT union, was it 1931, last semester signed on to the CalSTRS Divest campaign. If you go onto calstirsdivest.org, if you scroll down to the very bottom, you'll see the AFT logo of them supporting the CalSTRS Divest campaign, which is calling for CalSTRS to, just like we're calling for ethical procurement, to withhold any investments in organizations that are complicit in human rights organizations, in waging imperialist wars and genocide. So I don't think requesting, given an organization like AFT supporting something like a divestment, I don't think it's too much to ask that the district ask or follow suit with that. Yesterday, actually, CalSTRS had their board meeting, and we flooded their phone lines with, and a lot of people were present in Sacramento for that meeting, requesting for divestment, and they responded, and it looks like we'll actually finally get a meeting with them. So the divestment movement is growing, and I think we should, again, as we've asked before, to be on the right side of history. Another thing that AFT has recently endorsed is the reversal of the slogan "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free." On October 21st, Jim Mailer sent out a statement from the AFT Guild 1931, the Social Justice Committee, regarding the slogan that we're talking about. And I encourage everyone to read that statement. It goes into the history of the statement. And if you're looking for references to issue a reversal, please look at that. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Serena Cusa.
I made it. Good evening and buenas tardes, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to be here. My name is Serena Cusa, and I'm here today as co-chair of Students for Justice at Palestine at City College. And I am here representing a coalition of students, faculty, and community members who are dedicated to ensuring that our district remains a place where every student feels heard, respected, and safe to engage in critical, thoughtful discourse. I want to begin by acknowledging the amazing event, as my co-chair has talked about, that we hosted this past Monday, Liberation and Labor Organizing, that consisted of a panel of 3 Palestinian women in the labor movement who played a huge role in San Diego Labor Council's divestment resolution and its passing, as well as the work of divesting your retirement from genocide with CalSTRS Divest. And our keynote speaker, Chris Smalls, who is a world-renowned labor organizer and activist. Not to mention, if you're on the right side of history, he's kind of like our version of an accepted celebrity should embody. So it was an honor to host him here on our City College campus. And this was all possible because of our SJP co-advisors, Mona Alsariami, America Martinez, and Justin Akers, as well as the well-luth of everything that my co-chair mentioned. I also want to thank the board for its recent decision to retract the stance on the slogan "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free." This is an important step forward in fostering an environment of open dialogue, and I commend you for taking that action. The ability to revisit decisions and engage with the concerns of the community demonstrates the strength of leadership and a willingness to learn and grow, right? Because we're all lifelong learners here. However, while we appreciate this shift, it is equally important to emphasize that a true commitment to academic freedom, inclusivity, and justice requires more than just a behind-the-scenes adjustment. We need a public and explicit reversal of the previous stance on this issue, one that makes clear the distinction between anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism. The conflation of the two has caused confusion and harm, not only to those advocating for Palestinian rights, but also to Jewish students who have their own diverse opinions about Israel, Palestine, and the fact that this is not a political issue, but a human rights issue. Criticism of Israel's policies is not inherently anti-Semitic, and silencing voices on the issue only harms the intellectual freedom that we are meant to protect in our academic environment. In light of this, we respectfully make the following demands. One, a public reversal from the river to the sea, anti-Semitic conflation, where we request that the board issue a clear public statement reversing the initial stance that conflated the slogan from the river to the sea with anti-Zionism and being inherently violent. This is a necessary step to ensure that all students, including the advocating for Palestinian self-determination, feel that their rights and their voices are valued and their right to free expression is protected. Two, affirmation of the rights of Arab, Muslim, Palestinian, and pro-Palestinian students and faculty, where we call on the board to publicly affirm the rights of all students and faculty to express their political beliefs without fear of censorship, retribution, or discrimination. These voices are essential to our academic community and should be embraced, not silenced. To ensure Number three, to ensure that no restrictive policy on public-facing art of political nature. We ask that the board commit to ensuring that no restrictive policy is developed that limits students and faculty members' ability to express themselves politically through public-facing art, posters, or other forms of activism. Our campus should be a space where free expression thrives, not a place where political views are stifled in the name of comfort or convenience. For acknowledgement of the students, that the work and the faculty, including all advocacy for social justice groups on campus. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker is Keela Menjivar.
Hello, Board of Trustees, Chancellor Smith. So my name is Keila Menjivar Zamora. I am a film, media, and production student, at City College. And I have been avoiding coming here and talking to you. I'm literally shaking in my boots. But I'm here because as time goes on, I feel I'm left with no choice. I know that to remain neutral during the genocide is to choose the side of the oppressor, and history will not look kindly on my inaction. 2 years ago, around this time, SDCCD passed a resolution recognizing Native American History Month, where you concluded, and I quote verbatim, SDCCD is committed to educating all our community members about Indigenous histories and culture, and examining and taking actions to address the injustices of colonization and occupation. I want us all to take a second and ask, what does this mean to you? And I'll go ahead and repeat it. SDCCD is committed to educating all our community members about Indigenous histories and culture, and examining and taking action to address the injustices of colonization and occupation. What actions are you taking to, in your own words, address the injustices of colonization and occupation today? As a tribeless, colonized, re-indigenizing person, I know that I vindicate my ancestors not by showing up at the doors of families on their ancestral lands and displacing them, but by advocating for and amplifying the ongoing struggle and land disposition of Indigenous people today. I know that I honor my indigeneity by protecting the land itself, knowing that we belong to the land and not the land to us. I urge you, SDCCD, go down in history as an institution that did the right thing. Issue a public reversal on the original From the River to the Sea anti-Semitic conflation. Affirm the right of Muslim, Arab, and pro-Palestinian students and faculty, and ensure that restrictive policy on public-facing art of political nature is not developed. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Zachary Smith.
Hi, good evening to all of you. I just, I guess I'll start off here by saying, over the last few years, I've been on the internet sometimes a little bit too much. And I have noticed some very real and concerning trends, right? And I think that we need to acknowledge a few realities here. First of all, I think that within this country, there has been a very real rise of anti-Semitism. And I think that what needs to be addressed within that is that also by associating people who take a lot of time to make sure that they are reading about what is happening, to see what is going on and to see the deaths and starvation in Gaza, and to criticize the state of Israel for those actions, and to be against those policies, and to be somebody who wants an end to this unlimited death and a want for real equal rights and a possible peaceful reconciliation between both parties within this. I think that that is not something which is violent towards Jewish people. But by associating anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism, we create a very dangerous precedent where online people like Elon Musk can do a Nazi salute and can get away with it, right? Where people like Nick Fuentes can make the horrifying argument of an honest argument, pointing at the death and asking who is doing this. And he uses the misinformation and the lack of ability or the disdain to gain knowledge to blame Jewish people for this. And I think that is horrifying. And I ask this board, please, to clarify that distinction between anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism, because I think that we do really need to work towards making sure that this is a safer place for all members of this school. And that includes Jewish people who are also at risk of hate crimes, who are also at risk of violence. And should things go on the way that they are going, I am very fearful that we could see a very real rise of anti-Semitism through people like Elon Musk and Marjorie Taylor Greene, who do Nazi salutes or blame Jewish people for natural disasters. And so I do ask this board, please create that distinction between anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism, because it is setting a very dangerous precedent, and a precedent that I fear to see the reality of. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Jennifer Frost Moreno.
Hello, my name is Jen Frost Moreno, and I'm an assistant professor in Chicano and Chicano Studies and a former Mesa College student. And I might speak a little slow because I'm pretty pregnant and I run out of breath easily. But yeah, I owe a great deal of my success from being a student here at Mesa College. And I was really, my heart was warmed seeing those videos earlier because I felt like that could have been me back in a long time ago. So I'm here to speak about the importance of academic freedom and some of the censorship that I've experienced in the last couple years, myself and my students. And this morning, Elizabeth mentioned the awesome event that we had where we had Chicano Teatro, which is a form of political activism. And it was great that we were able to have that despite some of the Humanities Institute funding potentially being cut next year. So we were just in a moment of gratitude. But I believe education is liberation. It's an essential part of my pedagogy. I am inspired by Paulo Freire, who taught 300 sugarcane harvesters to read in 45 days. I also believe that access to education is essential, but what we define as education or educational has been controversial and under attack in the last 2 years. Censorship on the topics that we teach, including Chicano-Palestinian cross-solidarity, cultural parallelism, and resistance movements, is not acceptable. This censorship of these topics is not acceptable and it is illegal. Yet we have been the target of such censorship on campus without recognition of the harm done to our communities. For example, one of our teach-ins was censored or canceled back in spring of 2024 with One Mesa worker having to resign over this issue. In spring 2025, a sign saying Free Palestine was taken down from inside my locked classroom and reported as a hate crime. Our SJP's club recruitment flyers are being systemically taken down within 24 hours of being posted in appropriate locations, and myself being personally trolled via email from faculty that are in disagreement with me. Arab American students, Muslim students, Palestinian and pro-Palestinian students and faculty deserve the right to an education that is culturally relevant, allows for freedom of expression, and does not censor their use of affirming phrases such as from the river to the sea. My ancestors were censored in their education. My grandmother was told not to speak Spanish in the classroom, or she would get physically punished. And my great-great-grandfather likely, I'm still learning about this, likely was forced to attend a boarding school for Native Americans, which censors and eradicates their cultural practices and language. This results in a loss of language and cultural grounding that I experienced until I received an education in Chicana and Chicano studies. And I fear that history is repeating itself with our students, and it makes me nervous because I wouldn't, it makes me frustrated because I wouldn't want our students to go through what I had to go through. But history is a powerful tool that we can learn from and use to learn that from the river to the sea and Free Palestine, these statements are not anti-Semitic statements. They're statements of affirmation and self-determination, connecting the struggles of Indigenous people all around the world. And we should follow the lead of our students today, whose efforts are nothing short of inspiring. Take this moment in, please. If you haven't heard these students before, please have this change you. It is so incredible. They're leading the moral change for an ethical procurement committee to make sure our money is not connected to ethnic cleansing and genocide. They're creating art in the face of oppression and building community, living testimonies that education is liberation. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Samantha Romero.
Hello, my name is Sammy and I'm a student artist at Mesa. I'm speaking at this event instead of being at the open mic hosted by the BSU and SJP, using my free will and free speech to stand up for what is right. Last time I went to a board meeting, I did not speak, I listened, but today I will speak. I am very involved at Mesa College in the Pride Center, sports, club, and other programs. One thing that has helped me connect to students was events such as open mics at Mesa or open mics at City College through clubs like Terra Mesa, BSU, Music Club. Not only expressing my feelings through poems, but also through songs, and it gave me an opportunity to perform, gaining experience as an artist. I know that my art connects to many people, but also inspires them. I encourage the district to celebrate our creativity. I think that a lot of talent goes unseen here, and there's more room for opportunities. Something that I love about my campus is that the president of the campus goes to the events. Thank you to President Hans, the family that I built at the Pride Center, because they have given me clothes when I didn't have any, fed me when I was hungry, was there for me when I was lonely, and gave me money when I didn't have money to pay for books for school. Something that I wish was better was the mental health services here at Mesa. The first semester that I was here, someone committed, RIP. Support groups for students who struggle with addiction. Many students all across campuses secretly struggle with addiction alone. And one thing that I've learned from being in recovery for a while is that you cannot do it alone. I wish that there was more technical careers. I know that City College just opened a barber school, and I would love to learn how to make jewelry. Making the Pride Center bigger. The Pride Center is getting packed. Making more creative spaces. Opening a food bank at school, because I know a lot of people just lost resources by losing SNAP and EBT. Transportation, making a bus or a train that goes from city Mesa, and Miramar. Not only would it help students saving time and gas, and also more opportunities for activism. And lastly, I just want to say that during these holidays, please pray for the people in Gaza, people that have someone who's undocumented, because no one is illegal on stolen land, the homeless, and the people that are hungry. Today, I stood on my beliefs, and thank you for listening.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Daniel Villegas.
Good evening. I just want to thank all the women on the board, all the women in my life. I want to thank Dr. Carmen for making me the writer I am today. I want to thank all my friends in SJP for doing something amazing this week. Thank you. And well, I tell people we're the most powerful campus club on the planet. And we're trying to start one at Miramar. I want to thank all the counselors. We don't need any AI counselors. I would never talk to an AI counselor. We need we don't need AI mental health counselors either. Please support the mental health counseling department here at Miramar at City. Unfortunately, I didn't make it to my appointment because I went to Chris Small's event, and it was just more uplifting for me. I didn't make it to class. I haven't been the same person, and I'm still processing it all. And but I can't give up, because I come to class or I come to school, even if I didn't make it to class. And they show me love. I also want to not forget, I don't want to come to 360 board meetings before we have a dedicated lab tech for the studio for Miramar, but I will. Or city or the district. Chris Spons was a big inspiration to all the people. I mean, the real people, like doing the good work in the community, because the whole community was there. And I was there, and that's why I wasn't in class again. Yeah. Basic needs. A professor at Miramar said, "Hey, why don't you go? Like, do you want to try, Chief? There's a new person at basic needs." And I said, "No." Them people denied me food. I do not want to go ask for their help again. So no, I do need a sleeping bag probably soon, because I'll probably be on 17th in Commercial. The rent's crazy. I want to remind you, a student died this year. We still need housing, and I'm glad there's progress, but it's not fast enough, and you're doing the best you can. So thank you. I'm here for the open mic, so please come through to the open mic. And November 22nd at Athlon Libre, I'm having an event. It's poetry and music, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. And there's going to be Miramar students, Mesa College students, city students performing, and the community. Yeah, so please tap in, come through. We need a general strike on well, yeah, everybody knows it's Black Friday, and Kaylee Lason's book, Culture Jam, it's Buy Nothing Day. That's what it should be, buy nothing, right? Please buy nothing on that day this year and stand in solidarity with Palestine and with everybody. I believe in you guys, and I thank you. We definitely need more students on the hiring committees, right? I'm glad we have a student trustee. That's just so powerful. And I'm glad, I'm glad well, I hope I get there and I'm able to, be okay again. I made it to the edit bay once last week, but yeah, I don't feel the same. And I don't go home because something happened at home. And no one's going to threaten me in my house, so I'm not going to live there. The pantry, please support the pantry. There's some kind of crazy 100-point system that students run out of points, and then they're asking their other friend for their points to get them something to eat. And that's here at Mesa. Every pantry is different, and please just, thank you.
Our next speaker is Nathan Resch.
Good evening, trustees and chancellor. My name is Nathan Resch. I'm a professor and department chair in the School of Exercise Science, Health Education, Dance, and Athletics at San Diego Mesa College. I would like to thank the Board of Trustees for the vision, foresight, and leadership taken in seeking and gaining the support of my fellow San Diegans with the passage of Measure HH. Many facilities at Mesa are over 60 years old. These original buildings, spaces, fields, and facilities no longer meet the demands of preparing our students for higher paying, skilled careers. These outdated resources also limit educational opportunities for students who aspire to transfer to four-year universities. HH came into fruition to address these facility and space needs for our students who rely on faculty subject matter experts to channel their shared needs to shape programming and identify changing technology and trends in higher education, and particularly California community colleges. Through strong collaborative relationships, such as those we built with Mesa College President Ashanti Hans, we have identified many of those overlooked space and facility limitations that once served San Diego well, but no longer meet the needs of today's students. Modern learning environments, advanced technology, and specialized spaces are essential for preparing students for transfer and the evolving workforce. Looking ahead, our focus is on creating these modern, innovative facilities that support the goals of our community and students now and for the next 60 years. I thank the Board of Trustees for approving the resolution to update the Measure HH Bond Program project prioritization, development, and implementation process. I look forward to continuing to partner with our administrative colleagues to not only see the Mesa 2030 vision realized, but to build facilities and spaces that allow our students to truly feel like they can be themselves and belong to a college that builds an infrastructure so advanced that the only possible outcome is equity and student success. If we can do that, our students will not only meet the goals of who they want to become, but they will also be proud San Diego citizens and alumni that invest back into Mesa College and the San Diego Community College District. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes our public comment.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Okay, moving on to section 7, call for representations by exclusive agents representing employees. Do we have anybody?
No.
Okay, so then I'll refer the next item to the chancellor.
At our previous meeting, the Supervisory and Professional Administrators Association presented its initial proposal to begin collective bargaining on an initial CBA for the SPA unit. The district presented its letter of interest. California Government Code requires an opportunity for the public to review those proposals and then provide comment to the board. So this item is an opportunity for any speakers to address the board. After tonight's meeting, we'll go into negotiations with the SPA unit. I believe we do not have any requests for comment.
That is correct.
Okay.
And no action required by the board.
Okay, thank you. All right, so now we move on to your report, Chancellor, on communication statewide and legislative issues.
Of course, the most significant thing that has happened since our last meeting is yesterday, late into the evening, the House of Representatives passed a package of bills that would fund the federal government in its entirety through January 30, 2026, and a couple of bills that would fund specific agencies, including Department of Agriculture, Food and Drug Administration, Department of Veteran Affairs, What's significant in that is that the Supplemental Nutrition and Assistance Program is administered within the Department of Agriculture, and they have fully funded that program through September 30th. Significant because the rest of the federal government only has bills funding it through January 30th. So we could well find ourselves in another political stalemate and a government shutdown come the end of January. Let's hope that does not happen. Also want to let people know that all included in those bills were back pay for all federal employees who've not been paid throughout this. And so they'll start the process of administering those checks. There are several 100,000 people that will be receiving checks. So it takes about a week to do that. But the SNAP benefits for November will be dispersed in their entirety by the end of this week, by tomorrow. So glad to see that that has come to an end. No significant developments on the state front at this time. That's the end of my report.
Thank you, Chancellor. And we go to report of the trustee, student trustee Jeremiah Palomino.
Hello. Well, thank you, Board President. For San Diego City College, San Diego City College held multiple workshops to assist students in their transfer applications. They also hosted a veteran appreciation event to help create a space where students, staff, and service members came together to celebrate. For San Diego Mesa College, they will host their Hunger and Homelessness Awareness Week this Monday from November 17th. And it will close off the week on the 20th to highlight, the whole week will be highlight to basic needs and challenges to connect students with campus resources, but it will conclude with the Mesa's annual Thanksgiving feast next Thursday, which will provide a free warm meal to students and to create a welcoming space to build community. For San Diego Miramar College, the San Diego Miramar College hosted a Fall Fest event on October 30th, 2025 to provide students with a space to find community through club involvement. That concludes my report.
Thank you, trustee Palomino. And now we go to trustee Senior.
No report.
Thank you. Trustee Jameson.
I wanted to thank everyone that came and made public comment, and thank you to President Hands. Thank you all for your presentation today. I'm very grateful to be in this space. Thank you for the students of SJP. I was grateful to be able to attend the event, even if it was for a short period of time. I wish I would have got to see Chris Smalls, though. I had to go to work. But yes, thank you for inviting me. I was glad to be there, and that's the end of my report.
Thank you. Now we go to trustee Milgram.
Good evening, everyone. So first of all, I'll say this, but probably get in trouble for it. Equating anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism is like equating LGBTQ people with pedophiles. It simply is counterfactual. That leads me to my next, November 20th coming up is the Trans Day of Remembrance. It's really sad that we have a holiday specifically to remember trans people that have been murdered. Hopefully they will get to as a society where that will not be necessary. I'd rather have a Trans Day of remembrance for all the trans people who have contributed to our society. I do in that same vein, I want to compliment our San Diego police force, who are going to be engaged in safe zone training. We have some new officers, new employees, and I appreciate their efforts to become better educated about keeping our LGBTQ plus community safe. And I'll end with thanking the Chancellor for his passionate statement about protecting our LGBTQ plus community, especially our trans community here at State, that he made at the recent town hall. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Magana.
I have no report.
Okay, thank you. And I don't have a report. Thank you for being here. So Chancellor, your report.
Count it up. I've been on travel at events across the country, 24 days since October 1st. It's been a whirlwind. I wish I had the time to share all the many different spaces that I've been in the conversations, but I want to share with the board and everyone in attendance the theme of feedback that I've received as I participated on more panels than I can remember now. So many people afterwards have come up and said something of a variety of, well, I thought we were really doing good work in this moment. You're at a completely different level. Like, what is going on in San Diego that you're able to do that? And I share consistently that we have, you know, an amazing unanimous board committed to protecting our students, our mission, our faculty at a time that that's being challenged. And it allows me to show up in the way that I get to show up. And just know that outside of the community that we often are in, it's very, very different. And people are struggling to be able to reconcile their values and humanity with the action of state governments, with system leaders, with the direction they're getting within their colleges. So I just want to share my appreciation of the board for being able to do the job in the way I get to go and do it, and know that that's going recognized literally from LA to Long Beach to Denver to New Orleans to Washington, DC over the last couple of weeks. Vice Chancellor Peterson is not here at the meeting tonight because the San Diego Business Journal released its nominees for the Veteran Leaders of Influence Awards for 2025. And he got a call saying, you really need to be there because we want to give you an award. He was not just nominated, but is right now there probably receiving his award. Also want to recognize Vice Chancellor Topham, her team in educational services, and everyone at our 3 credit colleges that have been working on credit for prior learning. The California Community Colleges Chancellor's Office has recognized our district and our 3 credit colleges as the MAP colleges of the year, MAP being the Mapping Articulated Pathways, and specifically a veteran sprint that has been going on. We've had, I don't know if the numbers they shared with us are right, so I don't know want to share the numbers, but we have been able to go through the military careers of 2,500 veterans or so and identify where we can award credit for the things that they have done during their service time, leading the state in this work. So excellent job to everybody involved. There are way too many people for me to name them all and get them correct, but appreciate that recognition on behalf of your work. So thank you, Vice Chancellor Topham. There is so much more I could share, but in the interest of time, I will end my remarks there.
Thank you, Chancellor. We go to item 901, Chancellor.
So this is the first of several items that are the second reading of policy revisions. I'd like to recommend the board take items 901, 2, 3, and 4, all and 5, all in a single motion. A second. And just want to note that in item 904, we had a recommendation coming out of the first reading to expand the disadvantaged business enterprise definitions within the policy. We made the change as recommended by the board there. And so again, recommend this entire group 901 through 905 in a single action.
901 through 905, right?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Magana,
Second.
second by trustee Senior. Any discussion on these items? No?
Just,
Oh,
just to confirm,
Mhm.
the definition of DBE was not, it's removed or?
No, just we expanded.
Okay.
So if you go to the version that has the markup of the language, you'll see
Okay.
we included identification of LGBTQI plus enterprises within those definitions.
Okay.
I just want to say.
okay.
Just want to make sure we got the definition right.
Thank you. Before we vote, student trustee Palomino, do you have anything to add, and how do you vote?
No, Board President. My vote is aye.
Okay, thank you. Will the board members in favor please vote aye by saying aye?
Aye.
Thank you. I think the item passes unanimously. The items. So now we move to item 906.
906 is the first reading of policy revisions in Chapter 3, General Institution. This deletes an outdated policy on public records and creates a new one in its place that is legally compliant with current law and updating the number system, as we've been doing systematically. This has been reviewed by DGC with no concerns raised and passed unanimously. Recommend the board pass this first reading.
Okay, so do I have a motion on this item?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee Jameson, second by trustee Senior. Is there any discussion on this item? No? Okay. Trustee Palomino, do you have anything to add and how do you vote?
None at this time, Board President. My vote is aye.
Okay, thank you. Please say aye if you vote aye. Or the other way around, thank you. The item passes unanimously. Thank you. So now we go to item 1001.
California Education Code requires that the board establish an organizational meeting at which it elects a board president, executive vice president, committee positions, and other business matters, and need to do that with public disclosure so that public knows that if they want to come and make comment to the board on those decisions, they have an opportunity. So we need to have the board establish our meeting on Thursday, December 18th as our organizational meeting.
Okay, thank you, Chancellor. Before we have a discussion, may I have a motion on this item?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Magaña, second by trustee Jameson. Any discussion? This is gonna be our meeting next month. No?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, seeing none. Student trustee, do you have anything to add and how do you vote?
Not at this moment. Board President, my vote is aye.
Okay, thank you. Those members, please say aye by signifying that you're affirming this vote.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. The item passes unanimously. Item 1201.
Item 1201 is review of our 3-year updates to our student equity plans for all 4 of our colleges. This became a requirement for California community colleges in 2015, 2016 to develop and implement student equity plans so that we had strategic intentional action to identify and close achievement gaps within our student communities. I'd like to welcome Vice Chancellor Topham, who's been helping to coordinate this work across our colleges for a presentation on our 2025 to 2028 student equity plans.
Thank you, Chancellor Smith. My notes said good afternoon, but it's actually good evening. So I'm very pleased to be up here today to introduce our 4 colleges and the colleagues to share the excellent work that has happened throughout our district. Just a quick background, this work stemmed in 2015, 2016 when the State Chancellor's Office initiated a program around student success. San Diego Community College District receives about $18 million to support the program across the 4 colleges. The goal of the equity program is to close achievement gaps and provide student access to underrepresented student groups as identified in the local plans. The 4 colleges have put in a lot of work, and they're going to be coming up and talking about their what happened with their previous plan and then introducing their future plan. And then we will be seeking your approval for these plans. So without further ado, I want to bring up San Diego City College and Claudia Diaz Carrasco, Dean of Ideas.
Thank you so much and good evening. I normally don't speak English after 5, but I'll make an exception. And today. So City College has a history for, social justice and really working on the ground to reduce equity gaps with students that are regularly disadvantaged. So I'm really happy and proud of the team who has been working on this. A couple of key administrators and representatives of each of our governing UDs who were appointed through their respective governing boards. And so thank you, team, for helping us get through here. Let's start with the last 3 years. we have been able to really communicate the social justice missing across campus, focusing in different populations. I'm happy to report today that through the work that we have done through our learning communities and through the centers that has been open on campus to support the specific communities, disproportionate impact for female, Filipino female, and Black or African American female students in completion of transfer level math and English has been eliminated. So thank you for all our teams who work on the ground reporting these populations. Similarly, LGBTQ female and Black male, African American male are no longer disproportionately impacted in persistence. And Latino males and foster youth are no longer impacted in transfer. For all of my peers here in our equity teams, they know how hard it is to eliminate these equity gaps. So I'm really happy to be reporting that at least these populations are no longer. We also know that the work doesn't stop there, right? We really know that through this consistent support through our centers and through our learning communities, our students thrive. So moving forward into our next year, we continue on 6 different strategies. The first one is again through these affinity group learning communities that are based in our centers. One of the key pieces that we have observed in the last 3 years, and we plan to continue to do so, is our professional learning, not only focus on our faculty, but also our classified professionals and really all across campus. So we'll make sure that we're providing culturally relevant and culturally responsive student services and instruction. We want to continue to provide support for all our early enrollment in transfer level English and math. We know how lost some of our students sometimes are or how afraid they might be from these English and math classes. And so we want to make sure that they have someone guiding them through enrollment and completion of these courses. This can only be done through our 4th and 5th strategies, who are intrusive student services and student counseling. And finally, for this plan, we're also adding this strategy, which is a structured semester to semester enrollment support, adapted and apply at different scale through different various programs and contexts. So we're really confident that through this 6 strategy, we're going to continue to eliminate disproportionate impact in our targeted populations. Now I'm going to introduce my colleague, Leticia Diaz. We're not related, from Mesa College.
Good evening. I have the honor of serving as the Dean of Student Success and Equity at San Diego Mesa College. I'm pleased to present an overview of the 25-28 Student Equity Plan and also reflect on our progress. We had a work group that worked on our Student Equity Plan. We came up with over 20 objectives to work on during this 25-28 period. And sorry, yes, sorry. I thought somebody was clicking. And our plan continues Mesa's commitment to advancing a culture of equity and closing equity gaps. Over the past 3 years, our work focused on 3 key areas. First, fostering a sense of belonging through cultural affirming spaces, peer networks, and mentorship programs. We saw the greatest impact when students could connect in accessible affinity spaces and participate in culturally relevant events. Second, supporting academic success by providing professional learning and tailored tutoring. And third, expanding access to basic needs such as food, housing, and financial support. And we recognize that students' outcomes from 22-25 oh yeah, right. We recognize that student outcomes from 22-25 were still shaped by the lasting effects of the COVID transition as students navigate their academic journey. And we also worked on increasing the successful enrollment and support of our Pacific Islander AAPI students, a group often underrepresented in data reporting. One major success was our transfer rate for Black African American students. We surpassed our goal of 6% increase, reflecting our deepened focus on supporting their educational journeys. Looking forward, our new plan builds on the successes while deepening our intentional focus on race-conscious equity work. We'll continue strengthening collaboration across instructional services, student services, and administrative services, along with our community partners. Finally, we're cultivating strong transfer-going culture, ensuring that every student can envision and achieve their next step, whether that's university transfer, career advancement, or long life personal growth. In closing, thank you for continued support, and if you have any questions, you may contact us. And next up, we have Miramar College, Dr. Carmen Carrasquillo, Miramar Equity Coordinator.
Hello, everyone is talking so fast, so let's see. I am standing in for Nisa Julian tonight, and I wanted to share with you that at Miramar College, we are focused on shifting our campus culture and engaging in reflection, much needed reflection about what have we done in our equity work and where do we need to go. And so when we thought about the 22-25 equity plan work, we embraced the theme cultivating community, making the invisible visible. And we also had an equity summit theme, per ardua ad astra, because I knew those 6 years of Latin would pay off one day, through adversity to the stars. And so the idea behind that is that we really want to identify the unseen obstacles and barriers that our students face. And we really want to reflect on what have we done? Can we do an equity inventory and take a look at those efforts? And what have we done to try to dismantle those barriers and use that to guide our future planning? Examples of some of those things on your slide there of 22-25 equity work. I want to focus on looking for additional funding for our programs that have been successful, our HSI STEM Éxito, our Native American Student Support and Success Program, Rising Scholars, Dreamers, ANAPI. We focus on professional development, offering Culturally Responsive Educators Academy and Training for Equity. And I know I have 2 minutes, so I also want to talk about the 25-28 plan on the next slide. We focus on a collective equity in action approach. So we sent a team to CEPI, the Student Equity Plan Institute in Long Beach, and we determined that the first thing we needed to do was to write our story, our equity story, our history. And by doing that, because we really felt that we have to know our history in order to plan our future. And so some highlights of what we are planning to do moving forward. The plan did go through all of our constituency groups and was approved. We really emphasized inclusivity and making sure that our plan represents all of us. And so based on the metrics that you see up on your screen, I will just highlight things that are very popular that we really want to do. We do not have Puente en Umoja, as you know, at Miramar College. So we're looking at how can we make some cohort-based learning communities happen at Miramar. We're looking at mentorship and being creative with mentorship, bringing in classified professionals, alumni. We're looking at transfer conferences, which we already had. We had our first one, and building knowledge of transfer like across the campus because it's about collective action for equity. And we're looking at data literacy efforts. For example, our student data dashboard, this aggregates success data by race, ethnicity, age, gender, ability, veteran status, socioeconomic status, foster youth, LGBTQ+, housing circumstance, and learning more about what story the data might be telling us so we can move forward in being responsive to our students' changing needs. We are deeply committed to racial equity work at Miramar College, and we recognize the intersectionality of our students' identities. We are targeting, in particular, Black, African American students and Latinx students as our groups because they are appearing across the metrics. And our goal overall, of course, in closing these equity gaps is to sustain culturally responsive practices that ensure our students have that sense of belonging, that they are seen, making the invisible visible, right? And supported and empowered. Thank you. And it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Franklin Garrett, College of Continuing Education, Dean of Career and College Transition.
Good evening.
My name is Dr. Franklin Garrett. I have the privilege of being the Dean of Student Support Services at the San Diego College of Continuing Education. And our story with our student equity plan really has to do with creating the infrastructures possible to serve our diverse student populations. Over the last decade or so, our population has shifted very abruptly, and we have to put some infrastructures in place to make sure we can serve all of our students. So before I go into some of the things we have done, I want to take a look back at some of the data that we got from taking a snapshot of the last 3 years of the cycle to now. What we've seen is an enrollment increase of 26%. We've seen completions go up by that same measure. We've seen retention go up by 3 to 5 points, and our transitions go up by 366%. And I'll talk a little bit about why we think we're able to get those numbers in a bit. But some of the areas that we noticed that stood out is taking a look at our foster youth students, African-American students, our refugee students, and low income. We also saw female, Latina, and African-American male and homeless students being different indicators that stood out as persistent. And one of the things we're really looking for in the future is to direct resources to groups within this persistent group. So really thinking about what are the needs per specific groups. So strengthening our foundation, expanding equity impact. So I want to talk a little bit about how we believe we got to some of those numbers, some of the things we actually did at our campus. One of the things we did is, as you all may know, we have 7 campuses spread out across San Diego. We opened up welcome centers at all of our campuses to help remove the barriers of students enrolling into class. We launched a new tutoring center at our ECC campus. We expanded our basic needs and food pantry. We had it at our main campus, but now we're having that across all 7 campuses. We did some reorganizations between our career services and student support services to make sure that we can support our broad student population. We increased the counseling efforts towards disproportionately impacted students by making our counselors generalists before they were attached to specific CTE pathways, but we felt it would be in the better interest of our students if our counselors can speak to any program that our students are interested in. And then we also enhanced our faculty collaboration, and then we established a cultural events task force. Last year, we did about 26 cultural events, just making sure that we're representing the broad array of students that go to our institution. So I want to talk a little bit about some of the culturally responsive programs that we have. I talked about the infrastructure and building. A lot of these programs that you see up here, they're very new programs. So our Black Student Success Program is about 3 years old. Our Immigrant Support Program is about 4 years old. And with some of the things that's going on right now in the country, this program has had a lot of activity being there to really guide a lot of our students dealing with immigration issues. Our LGBTQIA program is 2 years old. Our Veterans Program is about 6 months old. Our Rising Scholar Program is about 4 months old. And then we have 2 programs that we have through our foundation, which are our Elevate U program and Pathway program. What's cool about those programs is that they're grant funded, and we're able to go out and target specific populations with the funding. So as we look forward and deepen our equity impacts, this is going to be more about what our strategy is going to be. So our strategy going forward is really to elevate the voices of our students, because a lot of times when you have students who speak very different languages or they have different digital literacy, we need to do more than just give them a survey. We need to do focus groups. We need to show up where they are. We need to make sure that their voice is in this equity plan. And I can tell you by working at CE, sometimes when we think about what success is, we leave out what the student defines as success. A student can say, I want to learn enough English to help my kid with their homework. That should be counted as success for them, the same way as transitioning into another college. Another thing that we're looking to do is really making sure all of our counselors can get TLC to take care of themselves, make sure they have trauma-informed decision-making and data-driven processes that we have. We're also looking at enhanced ways to track our data with specific DIA groups. And of course, we want to stay in alignment with the Vision 2030 and the SIA wide impact. And then lastly, we want to make sure we're focusing on some of the nuances within these groups. So for instance, we saw, even though we saw an increase in some Asian groups, we noticed that the Filipino group was lagging behind. So what do we need to do to make sure we are pointing a spotlight on the specific subsets of these different groups to show a little bit more love? And then again, a lot of our refugee students and our low-income students at CE, we see a lot of our students, we serve the most neediest of students. So we want to make sure that we're showing up and coming to where they are and really representing them. So with that, that's my report. I'm going to bring VC Topham up here to wrap us up.
So this concludes our presentation, and if you have any questions for the colleges, we're here to answer any questions, and if not, then we are seeking your approval. Thank you. And thank you, everyone. Great job.
Yeah, great job. Any questions? Oh, wait, no, I need to have a motion first. Do I have a motion on this item?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Milgram, second by trustee Jameson. Now we can have a discussion. Questions, comments? Maria?
Yeah,
Trustee.
thank you for that. I think obviously all of you are showing real progress and you seem to be focused on improving that even. So thank you for all that.
Anyone else?
Yeah,
Trustee
it's
Milgram.
not too long ago that the idea of including the queer community in these equity plans was not even thought of. So I want to thank you all for all the places where you're recognizing the needs of that community. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, good job, everybody. And I really like the last table of CE, the deepening the equity impact. I always say, you know, that we gotta hear from those that we are serving. So really good point. Okay, seeing no more comment, let's hear from our student trustee, Trustee Palomino. Do you have anything to add and how do you vote?
Not at this time, Board President. My vote is aye.
Okay, thank you. Everyone in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the item passes unanimously. So now we go to item 1501.
This is consideration and adoption of a resolution that would establish the process by which we can update the prioritization and the scope and the inclusion of projects for Measure HH. The Board of Trustees did this with Props S and N on the basis of legal advice and feedback from the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee. And basically with the public, with the California law around issuance of school bonds, a facilities plan has to be developed in alignment with strategic plans, educational plans, and then we have to tell voters the projects that we intend to implement so that they can vote on whether or not they want to authorize the use of funds. The challenge in that is that the planning around facilities often happens years before the bond campaign and needs evolve. And so we talked with legal counsel, and by we, I do not mean me, but our district, on how we could update facilities plans to be responsive to changes that have happened since we put out a bond measure, be compliant with the law, and ensure oversight from our Citizens Bond Oversight Committee and fidelity with the intent of the bond program. And we successfully did that with Props S and N. And so we want to implement the same type of process with Measure HH, which would be that the colleges, as they continually go back and look at facilities needs and assess and work through their participatory governance process, update their master facilities plans, bring that forward to the district, and then we integrate that into a district-wide plan, that we can adjust the scope or the projects to be funded by Measure HH accordingly. The reason this is coming up so early in this campaign is much of the facilities planning that informed, for example, Mesa 2030 was happening in 2019, 2020, into 2021, and things have already changed. We heard a public commenter earlier talking about the athletic spaces. At Miramar College, the aviation program and the Montgomery Field hangar is one of the first projects. And in the time of the facilities plan that informed that, there's been a lot of conversation around establishment of an air traffic control program, which is an area of really high employment need. But we would need to change the scope of that project if we were going to do that. And so this puts the process in place by which we can do that. And I want to highlight an important question was asked at District Governance Council yesterday around, given an authority like this, is it possible we could drift too far from what we told voters we were going to do, and what are the safeguards? And so there are 3 levels in this process. First is if we are going to change the scope of a project beyond 5% or $20 million, Vice Chancellor of Finance and Business Services, Vice Chancellor of Facilities, and I would review that scope across the entire district program, and then consult with the board subcommittee on facilities and sustainability. And then that would be presented to the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee. So we have multiple levels of review from different perspectives to say, yes, this is appropriate and in alignment with the intent of this bond, so that we don't end up doing things that would have voters years from now saying, you told us one thing and then you did another, and we're not going to continue to support you. So I feel confident in the process of review, approval, consultation, and auditing that would go into that, and seek the board's approval for this item.
Okay, do I have a motion on item 1501?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Milgram, second by trustee Senior. I think I heard something. Yes, Maria?
Second.
Wait, who's, oh, second,
I
okay.
said second, yeah.
Oh, okay, so I got it right. Sorry, Marcia. Okay, any discussion on this item? No? Thank you for developing that. Very, very important and a really good process. Student trustee Palomino, do you have anything to add, and how do you vote?
Not at this time, Board President. My vote is aye.
Okay, thank you. Please, colleagues, please, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the item passes unanimously. So now we go to 1509.
So we pulled 1504, which was the late add.
Oh, yeah, that's
um,
true.
Based
1504.
on a
Thank you.
conversation that had a district governance council yesterday. And I know Mona would have liked to have been here to offer some comment to the board, but she needed to go. So she will be sending an email with some of the City College Senate's interest around item 1504, and I'll reflect that based on the conversations I've had. So 1504 is the beginnings of a project to look at district-wide access control into all of our facilities. And so this is door locking mechanisms and who has access and by what technologies into every office, classroom, space in all of our facilities across our 4 million square feet. And it will look at things like, where should we have electronics such as key card access? Where should we have physical keys? Who should have access to those spaces? By what means? Where should we have centralized control? So for example, thinking of an active shooter situation, if we had the ability to immediately within a certain area lock all doors, that could be a very important, very fast emergency response mechanism. But that also comes with concerns about reliance on technologies, the security and safety of those technologies, who has access and can get into those technologies. So there's a lot of consultation that will need to happen in this process. And again, you'll hear more specifics, I think via email on behalf of the City College Senate, but there will be a lot of engagement in this conversation. This contract is to start the evaluation assessment study of that in order to develop proposals that'll come through the governance process to ultimately bring projects to the board around enhancing facility security access control. Wanted to relay that to the board in her absence. With that, I recommend approval of the item.
Thank you. Okay, colleagues, do I have a motion and a second on item 1504?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Magana,
Second.
second by trustee Senior. Any discussion? No? Okay, student trustee Palomino, do you have anything to add, and how do you vote?
Not at this time, Board President. My vote is aye.
Okay, will the board members in favor please say aye?
Aye.
Okay, the item passes unanimously. So now we go to 1509.
1509 is an update on the emergency action taken to repair the clogged sewer system that led to some flooding here in the LRC building at Mesa College. There were supplies that were back ordered, and we had to wait some additional time to be able to get those supplies. The bathrooms on the 4th floor were reopened this Monday, just a couple of days ago. We have additional carpet tiles that we expect to receive and be able to replace during the week of Thanksgiving. Hopefully, I'll be doing the final update on this, that everything has been completed at our December meeting. The total estimated cost of the repairs is approximately $250,000. And we need board's approval on this.
Thank you, Chancellor. Do I have a motion and a second on item 1509?
So moved.
Moved by trustee
Second.
Senior, second by trustee Magana. Student trustee, do you have anything to add, and how do you vote?
Not at this time, Board President. My vote is aye.
Okay, will the board members in favor please say aye?
Aye.
The item passes unanimously. I believe we're at the last item, 1510.
That is correct. Update on the emergency action taken at City College to repair and replace property fencing, landscaping in the greenhouse facility between the Harry West Gym and the 163. A site survey's been completed to identify the legal property line and ensure we align the fencing with our legal property line. Temporary fencing has been added. More permanent fencing will start the installation before the end of this calendar year, but we've also identified we need to do some slope stabilization on the property. And so that's backed up the estimated completion date to mid-February. The total estimated cost at this point is about $352,000.
Okay, thank you, Chancellor. I have a motion and a second on item 1510.
So
Moved by trustee Jameson, second by trustee Magana. Any discussion? Seeing none, student trustee Palomino, do you have anything to add and how do you vote?
Not at this time, Board President. My vote is aye.
Thank you. Will the board members in favor, please vote aye?
Aye.
Let's say aye. Thank you. The item passes unanimously. Seeing no further business on the agenda, and if there are no objections, the meeting is now adjourned. Stay safe. There's supposed to be a lot of rain
Yes.
coming up soon.
Not yet.
And enjoy.